on your hands, fight in your eyes, scars on your plans. Who you gonna be when the lights all fade? When the stage is gone, when the debts ain't paid. Just how big a boy are you when the chips fall, when the fish fly? Just how big a boy are you when the truth comes, when the lies die? Big talk ain't the weight you carry. Down truck in a no-name town, dust on your tongue, rain won't come down. What's the measure of a man with nothing to show? When the wind cuts deep, when the seeds don't grow. Just how big a boy are you when the walls crack, when the earth shakes? How big a boy pride bends, when your heart breaks? Big talk don't mean a thing at all. You can puff your chest, you can raise your chin, but the mirror don't care about the fire within. How far will you go? How much will you lose when it's blood for blood and you gotta choose? Just how big a boy are you when the tide turns, when the sky falls? How big a boy are you when the pain comes, when the last call? Big talk don't weigh a damn thing.
Oh, yeah. Just how big a boy are you? You beat here. Dave the AM, the Cornbread Man. Hopefully, my stream will hold. I meant to reboot the system before I came on, so it's not too bad. So we'll ride with it and we'll see how it goes. How are you on this Sunday before Christmas? We hope you are well. I've had a good day. I did a show this morning on the gifts of God to man at Christmas in the name of Jesus and the Holy Spirit, all those wonderful things. And then I've spent the afternoon just really spending time with my wife, resting, doing a lot of stream work, and going around and trying to be a blessing to other creators. Shout out to Big Tony Speaks, Empty Pockets Podcast, Have Pine Forge, went in all their streams, talked to Killer Carl, and some other wonderful people, just trying to be a blessing. And normally we're always online and we don't have time to go into other people's channels. And they was having a great discussion on both of those. And the Celtic Blacksmith is playing, yes, a blacksmith game. So we gave him a little shout out, helping those creators. And how are you tonight? And I'm going to talk about some news that's going on in and out and around and different places I want to kind of pull from as we look at different aspects of news. This afternoon, of course, the president and the administration are pursuing. I don't know how you pursue a tanker. I guess that it is set sail from somewhere and they're en route to intercept. But I wanted to read Senator Rand Paul's comments this afternoon or today. It was this afternoon, almost 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Senator Rand Paul not happy with the goings on that's happening about this tanker. And he had this to say in criticism of it. He said it is a provocation and a prelude to war. This is the third tanker that has, two have been intercepted already. This is the third one. He said, quote, this is from, again, Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky. I believe he is, yes. I'm not for confiscating these liners. I'm not for blowing up these boats of unarmed people that are suspected of being drug dealers. I am not for any of this. Yes, the Kentucky Republican said on ABC News this week in an interview with co anchor Jonathan Karl. So he is being very critical. He said, went on to say this. Then why is the former president, Juan Orlando Hernandez of Honduras, who was in jail for 45 years, why is he released? Paul asked, so some narco terrorists are really okay and other narco terrorists we're going to blow up. And then some of them, if they're not designated as a terrorist, we might arrest them. So he believes that this could escalate into war. I think it's all escalating to get Maduro to leave. I don't think there'll be actually a war. I don't think there'll be like an invasion force of troops that are going to go into the country. I do think that they may put pressure on by knocking out certain military defensive capabilities or something like that. They've shut the airspace down. They're not allowing the oil to go in or out, basically intercepting those. And yes, those could be looked at as provocations for war, but really, what's Venezuela going to do about it? Do they have the Navy that will be able to handle the Navy, or the Air Force that will be able to handle the Air Force, issue? They don't have anything close. They could take pot shots. They could do those things, but they don't have a way to wage war. They could declare war, but it doesn't matter. If they can't fight the war, it would just be a declaration that is meaningless, and then America would certainly not declare war unless something major happened. And again, they don't have the military capability to stop it. So the pressure is on Maduro. And sure, there are questions there. What else are we after there? Precious metals, the oil itself, who are we? Why are we applying all the pressure? I get all that, but certainly this country has been trouble for a long time, and it stops it checks, rather, it doesn't stop, but it checks the Chinese influence in the region, I believe, as they are certainly one that would use Venezuela and the oil and everything else. So, but Rand Paul says, I am not good for this. I believe it is a provocation. He also said he intended to keep putting pressure for a more traditional free market posture inside the Republican Party, distancing himself from the direction he says is being taken by newer leaders. This is an article in Newsmax today, this afternoon. Asked by Carl, the interviewer, whether Vice President J.D. Vance is the party's heir apparent. See, they always do this crap. We're not even got to the midterms yet, and they're already looking at that. They're trying to develop and throw wedges in between people in the party. They've got, him, who they think, oh, we got him he's going to bash the administration now. We're going to get him to bash J.D. Vance. Paul said he wants more GOP voices who support international trade, free market capitalism, and low taxes. Quote, I think there needs to be representatives in the Republican Party who still believe international trade is good, who still believe in free market capitalism, who still believe in low taxes. So I'm going to continue to try to lead a conservative free market wing of the party, and we'll see where things lead over time. When Carl noted that description does not fit Vance, Paul replied, no. Well, I don't think that we are against those things at all. I think we're still involved in international trade. Yes, we want to see taxes continue to come down and of free market capitalism. But the problem has been we've been upside down in tariffs, and the money that goes out of the country is a lot lower than what comes into the country, and those balances. Now it's a dicey. It's walking eggshells. It is the one thing that the president is going to have to be careful with, because there can become a point where tariffs can hurt you, and he certainly has to be careful with that. But there may be things that I don't agree with him on, but I do agree that we need to. I've always said we need to close the loop on that. I would like to hear a little bit more. I mean, I think again from what I've read is he wants Maduro go, and this is a country that has been caused some problems for us in the region. And if they can get that solidified and squared up, shaped up, checked up, whatever, it would help other countries that we are working with. There's a couple others that we don't, but for a large part, we have pretty good relations within Central and South America. This is a country that so goes a lot of that area as they go, and used to be a country there were a lot of people visited, a lot of trade, a lot of things. It's like Cuba. I mean, at one time, I mean, look where we were at, and look what has happened. Now it has softened some, not much, but if we don't have influence there, Russia and China will. And China's been working that. Both of them have, but China has been working the Central and South America very hard for docking capabilities, be right there in our back door, so to speak. And I think that's one of the reasons here. Plus, again, energy, minerals. Certainly, they're a country that could be that. There's always that. Follow the money. I mean, but Rand Paul is never short for comments, is he? I mean, he's always that dude, right? He's like Ted Cruz in a lot of ways. I mean, uh, that's what he does. He always gets a quote, and it can be fun to have those quotes sometimes, but you also don't want to, you don't go too far. Don't want to slam. There's some things we need to work on. There's some good things working, but he's always one of those. He's a fringe guy in a lot of ways. Daddy was too, and so we see that. But yeah, we are intercepting a third tanker. I just wonder what's happened to all the oil. Are we holding it on the ship? Are we going to offload it? Those are things that I would like to know a little more. There was the release of the Epstein files, which people have been going through. A lot of pictures, a lot of very controversial pictures. A lot of redactions still, different names, but there's a lot been revealed there. And it has showed a lot of people in government and entertainment field in those releases, hundreds of thousands of pages. Still more to come. They didn't get it all, and people are not happy about that. Again, a failure in this administration to deliver on the goods, and I'm not even blaming the president. I'm blaming people he's put in position who are not fulfilling the duties that they were put there for. They need to get that cleaned up. I always said that this administration was going to be different in many ways than previous administrations, and I don't even mean just the way that the president is doing things. I mean this. Usually, when like if because this is Trump's, some say third because he should have been in there, but it's a true second term in the fact that he's in power, in position, and elected. But in the second term, you always have a lot of defections and turnover. And even though some of the players have changed, it has that feel. It feels like I would not be surprised from the midterms on that a huge portion of this administration flips. You always see that as any president's done two terms. Bush, uh, Obama, Reagan, whoever it was, in the second term, there's always, I mean, 4 years is a long time to deal with the job at hand, and a lot of people are ready to move on, write their book. They get a job offer. I mean, they're kind of set for life really after that. You will have those that are closest that will hang all the way through. There'll always be those that are very close. This administration, though, is like it is in the second term with different people, but it feels like the true leaving will be midterm. We're not even, we're just now fixing to cross into the new year, and it's really going to be hot and heavy as we get closer to the midterms. It's going to be ugly. I mean, this is going to be a very hard, difficult few months. This is going to take a lot out of people in there, and there's a lot of questions. The first 2 years may not get cleaned up, and people are upset about it. So there's going to be a lot of challenges, and we may already be seeing those defections happen. Right? Dan Bongino, rumor has it, has packed his bags and he's headed out. And who else will? We've already seen, some that never even made it. So it just has that feel like you kind of feel like once you get to the midterm and whatever happens there will be changes into the second term. They won't rock the boat too much right now because that would be detrimental to the party at the midterm. So once those happen, depending whatever happens, whether they lose seats, hold seats, gain seats, whatever, even the president has said probably lose some seats. That's one of the reasons they're trying to shape up some of the, get in line some of the other seats. Stefanik, don't want her running. He's got his guy there. He wants to run. He come after MTG. That seat's going to be up for grabs, and they've got a person they want to push into that one. A lot of those things are happening ahead of time, almost, like getting ready for, this hard run that's going to happen. And what will happen? Will they hold both houses? I don't know, but it's narrow. It's very narrow, and this is a difficult. There's a lot of difficult things going on. We're tackling a lot of stuff. I mean, if you've ever been in industry or any job where you come in and you're a part of senior leadership, and you go into a room and they have, nowadays it's all computer and flashing up on the screen. Back in the day, we had the big board and everybody would come in and report, what they do. Well, they have those briefings like that. You have the briefings about the economy, and jobs. You have the briefings about, threats to the nation, budget things. I mean, that's what a president does. They go to a lot of meetings and all your senior leaders are reporting in on those things. And, you didn't want to be the person to bring in bad news, and sometimes from one meeting to the next, somebody didn't show back up because they were no longer with the company. Either they resigned and got another job, or they were told, "Yeah, you're done here." And I've saw that happen. It's it's a tough business. There's a lot riding on it. There's pressures in business. You got to be productive, and we got to make money. If we're not making money, we're going out of business. So your area has to produce, and you get into that. So think about it on the national level. When you've got a president and all the things they're tackling, I imagine their board is amazing to see that, because he is tackling so many things at different levels. I don't know. I can imagine how long the meetings are. I mean, I'm sure there are breakout sessions, as we call them at work, breakout sessions to talk about in deeper levels some of them, because you can't go in depth with some of them. So there's a ton of that going on national defense, the international relations, trade, tariffs, Russia, Ukraine, Taiwan, China. I mean, North Korea, Venezuela. Where are we at with all this stuff? What's the jobs report? What's the inflation? Where that's at? And many other things that he is tackling right now, filling those judge seats. They just went on like 100. They got put in place into seats and different things that needed to be put in place. They've been behind on this, but all administrations have, and these open judge seats and different things that needed to be appointed. They're still really getting through that. And so it's a lot going on. I can imagine. I mean, I don't know how they keep up with it all of what's going on. And then, the president's constantly posting on Truth. He is, addressing the nation. He's, constantly getting involved in, things, on the, social media level, or somebody dies and like, Rob Reiner and he's involved. I don't know how the guy, he can't sleep much. They said he's really gets 3 or 4 hours. He's ready to go. And he just, he's up and at him and going at 79 is pretty amazing. I don't know how he manages all that, to be honest. I mean, I know in my life, all the things I have going on, sometimes I'm just tired. I mean, nowhere near his age. And, but he has a staff and you have things to do, but he is very involved. Now, I wouldn't say micromanager, but he's pretty dang close. I mean, in some cases, I think he is, but he does let people do their job. It's pretty obvious. But there are times he definitely gets very involved, and he's got his inner circle that gets very involved. He tends to dispatch the inner circle to things, and then he gets involved himself, usually when they're about ready to push the ball over the goal line, as we say. Then the president comes along, which is not uncommon. It's not uncommon at all. You have others do the heavy lifting, negotiate and getting everything ready. Then you say, hey, Mr. President, we're close. I think we can close this deal Tuesday or whatever. It's okay. Let me know and I'll come in and, we'll get it done. Now, there's just a lot going on like that. In Gaza, they're trying to push forth phase 2, of the 20-point plan. It went from 28 to 19 or 20. They're saying 20 now. And I don't know that anybody's ever seen the full list of what's on this thing. But they're trying to move, forward with phase two. Well, phase two, I mean, phase one is was I don't even know that we're really finished with phase one, but phase two needs to go in. But because phase one, I thought was to root out Hamas. Well, Hamas has not been totally rooted out. They still have control of some areas to a degree. Humanitarian aid has started flowing again. That's all part of phase one. But they've got to get to phase two to start heavy investment, construction, get these people some homes. I mean, the country's laying waste. There's houses just continuing to fall down, buildings continue to fall down where all these bombs have hit. And there's always the threat that Hamas is going, and there's still killings going on. There's still Hamas. President's putting pressure on Israel, stop killing them. But they're saying we're not going to put up with Hamas in power. So he's got all that going on. He's got, you know, got to get that settled. And I get it. This is not even to get into the side of it. Should we even be involved there? I'm not for it. What I don't like the lead we're taking on it. I think it's going to blow up in our face. To be honest, if he gets this settled, hallelujah. But I think it's as the scriptures say, Jerusalem is a burdensome stone. You concern yourself with it, you're going to get cut. And he's done. He continues to seemingly get a little deeper into this. I don't want to be the realtor for the Middle East. Do not want to be that. I get it. But they're talking about international force that comes in phase two and handles security, and also, that would begin to work that way. But they got to get the entities that'll be the board, so to speak, that's going to manage what goes on as they go forward in the 20-point plan. So you got to have people that are involved. You got to have some Palestinians involved. They're going to have that. You're going to have people from different countries. You're going to have people from probably UN. I don't know who they're going to have. Somebody. The U.S. will have a seat or two at the table, whatever it is. They got to get those people in place and start making some decisions that everybody can agree on, and then get the major investment going. And get ready, Americans, because America's going to be involved in that. There's absolutely going to be an involvement of American money, tax dollars, involved in the rebuilding of Gaza. Now, the president just looks at things in a very business-like way, and he may say, but we're going to get money back here. We're going to get money back off of this. There's going to be this tax or this thing. It could be that. He's talked a little bit about it, but it's not solid who's doing what, when, and where, because the thing, honestly, is massive chaos. I mean, and they met in Miami. Come over to Miami. We'll have drinks and we'll talk it over, So you got representatives coming from all these countries, including Syria. We're running bombing runs right now on ISIS for the payback of the killing of the American soldiers, an interpreter. There is now bombing going on in Syria against ISIS targets, which still has strongholds within the country of Syria. So, and now, if we weren't invested enough there, now the news is reporting that Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, is pushing for the president to hit some more targets in Iran. So, I mean, we were supposed to not, let's get out, support. Yes, we'll always be an ally with Israel. People will be mad about that. But I don't, how deep are we going to get in this thing? I mean, we're going to hit Iran again. We're going to hit ISIS targets in Syria. We've got the rebuilding plan in Palestinian areas, the Gaza area. There is no Palestine. That's never been a country. It's never been. There's never been a Palestinian country. There's never been a history of music or culture or monetary money. They want to get there. They want to have access to the West Bank. They want to have an airport. All that is being talked about in the future if they can get this settled where Hamas is not in there. And slowly they start taking over with oversight, control of their area and becoming a part of the member states with access to loans and, basically a seat at the table, so to speak. Well, but the problem here is, again, if Hamas is still there, and they are, I mean, they're taking out Hamas leaders. Every time they announce a new leader, I think they've announced several leaders now because one guy doesn't want to have the job. It's like, we need at least 5 of us so we can move around the country. They get one of us, they've got another one. So there's at least 5 leaders of Hamas in the country, in that the strip, in the strip. It's not a country, but in the strip, and in the areas that they still have somewhat control over. Because Israel never went into Gaza City, or well, I mean, they did bombings there, but they still own some settlements. They still own some small villages, or I say own, they control. And so we haven't even got that done, but yet we're going to get this multinational organizing committee that will set goals and get this moving forward. And it's like I feel like they've kind of gotten in a speed up mode. It's almost like they hit the button and said, "We got to get moving." Chop chop, let's go. And the reason I think that is occurring is two reasons. One is they know they haven't got Hamas out. They know that this is going to continue to happen, and nobody wants Israel to go back in. Nobody wants troops on the ground to deal with them. They don't want Israel doing it. I mean, my goodness, they're trying to bring up Netanyahu on war crimes. So what's going to happen here is a wink, wink, nod, nod. They want to move forward, and these final Hamas people, they will, I say, will mostly probably they'll think will fall under that the force that goes in will have to deal with them. That is agreed upon by all. That they will have to be separate. They cannot have Hamas membership or members, supporters, whatever, and they will deal with it and get this thing moving forward. Because right now it's a waste pile. It's a dump, and it's a bad look. And you got humanitarian suffering going on, and nothing's happening. I mean, here we are, just the days are clicking by, and nothing's happening. And they can't, it's nothing that the administration can brag on right now. And the midterms are coming, so they're like speeding this up. They would have already moved a lot of those people. They had the plans for the forced removal of those people, and then that plan it's kind of gotten struck down. It's still out there that Somalia and Sudan and some others can take some of these in. But if they do that, how ugly would that be if they go in and do a forced withdrawal of most of the people of the Strip, except those that are going to be there to, do the jobs that they need done and get the families out and make them relocate? The fear will be, can they even get back in? And that's going to be the crux of that. So whenever you have whenever you have trouble in one area of the world, you you either hope that something pops up somewhere, or da da da, you make it happen somewhere else, and you take the pressure off. Gaza has not been talked about too much lately, right? I mean, it's all been Venezuela. There's been other things that have been talked about, things internally to the nation, the drug boats. You here at the holidays. I mean, everybody's got their focus on family and presents and, visiting and food and all that good stuff. And the world out there still, though, is clicking by, and there's still things going on in the world. And so this is the time to be watching as much as you ever have. Hello, Jake. How you doing, buddy? So there, and again, where is Russia and Ukraine? Well, that's another trouble spot. Again, the president's foreign policy, it could end good, but it is a minefield. And right now, that foreign policy into the Middle East and around the world, it's not working too good. They put a lot of pressure on Venezuela, and Maduro didn't leave. In fact, he dug his heels in. Others have said about him he will not resign. So can you put enough pressure on that the people inside the country do it, making me leave, take him out? I mean, or do you have to go in and make it happen? That would be the ugliest scenario that we could imagine in this whole thing. So there's just a lot of things that is dangling out there. And they could go either way. It could be good fruit or bad fruit. And the president has a midterm that is fast approaching. I mean, think about this. We're going to have here soon, just within a couple of weeks, we're going to have the date set for the runoff for the MTG election. And then we'll probably have a runoff on that because several are going to run. I'll be involved. And then at the general election, or the primary, excuse me, it'll be voted on again because it's a short-term election for that. And so we're going to be deep and hot and heavy in Georgia here in the election pretty quick. So all the campaigning. Matter of fact, I got a call the other day from Mike Collins' group wanting to put a sign in my yard in Georgia because I'm in the 14th district. That's where I reside at. and then you see this thing's going to come really fast, and it's going to be hot and heavy into the elections. And there's a lot of things that are not cleaned up from the first year that the president was for sure thinking we're going to have this settled. There's going to be no war in between Russia and Ukraine. We're going to be rebuilding there. We've got a deal. He's going to be able to take the victory lap. Can't get there. Israel, the Gaza thing has kind of it is not certainly cannot be where the president and his team wants it to be at. So they're putting a full court pressure on right now. Let's get going. Phase two. We'll wine and dine you in Miami. Let's get it done. Money for all. You can almost see it. I mean, it's like let's get it. Let's go. And put pressure on Big Mustache Man down there in Venezuela. Let's get him out of here. Let's claim, we're closing down the drug lanes. We're going to get a bad dude out, a dictator, bad for his people. It ain't happening. So you get a lot of that going on, and it's not looking pretty. I'm just being honest. I'm a Trump supporter, not in everything, but in most things. I'm a conservative. But as I sit here on the eve of Christmas, I mean, we're heading into Christmas, I see landmines for him all over the place, and that ain't even counting domestic stuff that he's not been able to. Really, like I say, narrow margins. He's got an election coming where even he admits we're probably going to lose some seats. He can't lose much. I mean, was it 5 or something? I mean, it's not much. And some things are better, some things are not. Meat prices are horrible right now. I mean, they're the worst they've ever been. Gas prices, energy seemingly is down. Inflation is not where they want it. The tariffs, that's an ongoing battle that's going on. And we're sitting on a lot of hot stuff. Broski, you underestimated how much Europe wants World War III. Sure. Oh, they itching for it. Remember when they called us out and said, I guess America's not the leader anymore. We'll take over here. And it was almost like overnight the president kind of re-engaged the whole Russia Ukraine thing. It's almost like no, we're leading here. You're not. We're leading. Yes, I'm on Rumble. I used a different name. I was trying to give a little bit of Cornbread Nation tonight, brother. I have several, and so I probably threw some people off. But Cornbread Nation is another channel name in Rumble. I have 4. So we have SF Podcasting, Southern Fried Patriots, Cornbread Nation, Dave in the AM is one. So I've got like 4 of them. I think even Cornbread Man. I don't know. But I was trying to give some love to that and engage some new people, and I probably threw it off a little bit. James is probably like, where's he at? Because I told him I'd be on. He could do a raid. He'll probably message me here. He's got a good show going on, but I am on there. Yeah, Cornbread Nation, give us a follow. I'd appreciate it. We are on Rumble. I'm on. I didn't go all the full 14 tonight. I'm doing Rumble, Locals, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and X. That's what I'm doing tonight. Mostly because I was running a little bit behind, helping my wife, and I was actually going into other. Great, thank you. That will help. And we are Cornbread Nation. We just need to feed a little more. We'll eventually have Wolf Nation as an option there as well. And because, the Wolf Nation's coffees and all that, we're excited about all that. So we're just building. But thanks for stopping by. So, it is an interesting time, and at the same time, many believe he has, done this without war. He has got credit for the peace. But it gives me, and not everybody's going to agree. I mean, I don't expect them to. We're not supposed to always agree. And some people say I overemphasize it, that we're not going to war and whatever. But what I'm saying is, even if we're not in war, things could blow up in our face. And we do have to watch the Europeans. They have been itching to go at it with Russia over there. And I don't understand all that. I know they don't like him and they're afraid he'll roll over Europe. I get all that. But your own country is in is a living hell right now. A lot of those European countries, they've allowed open borders. They've got crime off the scale. They've got internal conflicts. They've got areas of their own countries they can't even go into. France is one of them. There's areas of that country you can't even go into Germany has its own problems within the country. I mean, they don't even have, they got war going on, basically internal strife and domestic, hotspots because they have allowed so much criminality and animals, let's face it, to cross over their border, and all them small European towns are catching it. And you're having very established European cities that are small ones all over the landscape that are being changed overnight, and new leaders are being put in place, leaders that are not friendly to that nation. And yeah, they barely have militaries anymore. You're absolutely right. They are spending money on military now on a scale they haven't done in decades. But I mean, how long does it take to catch up? I mean, and again, their foreign diplomacy always sucks. They talk a big game, but they don't do nothing, and they haven't done anything. And so, a lot of people think, well, America's got to be there because we've got to hold Russia back. We got to do this, and but it's an ugly mess. And no matter what side people fall into, Russia, Ukraine, nobody, whatever, there are plenty of bad dudes to go around. It just continues to disintegrate. One side says, I want peace, the other side says, I don't, then it flips. And nobody really wants to make a deal in these areas to get things done like that. And the president is kind of stuck. And so he's banking on, I think he's banking on, no pun intended, but he's banking on several things to happen within that theater, the Middle East. And that is that he will be able to get something in place for Gaza and can claim a victory there. That he'll be able to say, we've got this relationship now with Syria that would be very strong for him, just looking at it from a political way, and that by some miraculous way, I mean, they're putting all the pressure they can on Ukraine to seal the deal here, but then Putin doesn't want to sign. So even though I think they've got Zelensky backed into the corner, and they're telling him, you're going to make a deal or else, Putin don't want to do it. So he realizes he's got leverage, and he just keeps it going. And he doesn't care how many people they lose. Doesn't matter to him. But Ukraine has got to be struggling with manpower. I know they are. There's miles and miles that have been captured by Russia because the Ukrainians couldn't hold it. They had to pull back. They've been very effective with, both sides have, with the drones. Russia got a little bit ahead of them with that one style. Ukraine's been catching up, but Russia wants all of that. I know what they're doing. The president can say he's got a deal made with Putin all he wants. You think Putin really wants to share the minerals with America? There ain't no way. He wants all of that. He wants all of that. He wants and they were supposed to share the nuclear power plant? No way. Putin is never going to agree to share the nuclear power plant. He will take that power plant and he will use it for himself. He's always worked to get the energy. He's worked in the whole region to get the gas supply. He certainly wants to corner the market on the oil. He's flooded the markets, even though they cost him in some ways. He's been finding plenty of buyers, on the black market. They typically have shut the gas off to all these countries that made deals with Russia. He's got them, as we say here, by the short hairs. He's got them, and he knows it. And he's not going to move, and he's not going to quit, because why should he? What other than he could say, well, the loss of life is really bad for our Russian people, and I want to end this thing. That's the only thing. It cost him a lot of money, but he makes a lot of money. He doesn't care about how many people he loses. He's looking at gaining. He's looking at sticking it to everybody. He was mad. We made encroachments into the region. He didn't like it. He's living every minute of this. It's a way to strike back. It's a way to control the narrative. It's a way to be the big boy on the block. And he don't even have to heavy lift. Like, he doesn't have to do anything. Like, he don't have to threaten nuclear war or anything like that. He doesn't even do it. He just continues to gain ground every single day. They gain ground. The Ukrainians give ground in most areas of the country. And every once in a while, he unleashes a volley to let them know that we're still here and we can still hit you whenever we want. So this has not went the way he wants it. Their leaders are beta males, very soft betas. They aren't leaders and they can't hang with Putin and Xi. You're right. There's no way those guys have the hardness to them that those guys have. Absolutely. Putin would make a deal, but Zelensky's being told not to by the Euro leaders. Well, it's obvious that they're wanting to gain traction there against the U.S. and keep things going. And let's face it, war in some ways is money. You can produce more. The companies love it that make the products, the weapons. There's a lot of money funneling going on, dirty money into clean money, or good money going through the circles and coming back in their pockets. They all enjoy that, and that's what that goes on in every war. It always has, and they find a way to enrich themselves. That's what happens. In the war between the states, the official order by to the military through Georgia and South Carolina was don't take things. Don't steal, don't rob people, all that. Well, that's so they can officially say that. Even the unit commanders who could not carry things even that soldiers could, they would take their jackets off and go in like as a private and come out. They said they'd have watches all the way up their arm as they went in these houses. They were enriching themselves. Everybody knew it was going on, and nobody was going to do anything about it. Every war has that happen. They steal blind. They steal from the populace. The one that's losing, they get it. When they go into these Ukrainian cities, they're, we don't even have to say it. We know what goes on. We know the theft, the violence against women, the taking of the children, all that's going on, and revenge. Revenge happens as your buddies have been blown up over here. There's a payback. Remember when Germany was going into Russia and they stalled? They thought they had them, how brutal they were going in. Well, when the Russians came back, the Germans knew. They knew how much payback was coming, so they were running for their lives. They were more than happy to run into American and British arms because they didn't want to fall into Russian hands because they knew exactly what would happen. They knew there was a difference there. Um, let's see, the longer it goes on, the more land Putin will claim out of spot. Well, absolutely. You are absolutely correct. And he's angry. He wants, Russia motherland. He sees all that land as theirs anyway. Russian speaking people. It was ours at one time. It's going to be ours again. He despises Zelensky and his crew. He sees them as, sees a lot of things. I can't read his mind or anything, but it's obvious he can't stand them guys. And he labels them Nazis. He doesn't like the way they buddied up to the West. Doesn't like the deals that were being made, and so he's put himself in the spotlight, and he's winning. The people that say, like, you take the military strategists, and they said Russia didn't win because it was supposed to be a fast war and be over with. Well, that was their decree. Putin never said we're going to take the country in 60 days or 45 days, was what these military leaders were saying. In fact, that's not even a Russian way. Russian military strategy is to go into areas, surround it, and just obliterate it to hell. I mean, that's what they do. They bomb it, they artillery it, they do whatever they got to do to make it unlivable, and then they take it over and they rebuild it in the way they want it to look. It is a strategy. They don't care whether that takes 60 days or 6 months or 5 years. They're going to continue to pummel until they get what they want. And they know over time that it'll be unlivable. And the military for the enemy will pull back and they will move in. They're already building up places like Mariupol. They've already been building, from what I understand. They've been building, apartments and stuff and rebuilding the cities for people to habitate, and it's now raising the Russian flag over it. Hey, there is Russian expansion going on in Burkina Faso. We've got missionaries there, and in the city, as the Islamists have been attacking in the north. It's a huge area, Burkina Faso. They have been people, just refugees flying out of those areas as the brutality of the terrorists, the Islamic terrorists that are coming through those areas. But in the town where they minister at, in one of the towns there, the capital, even I think of Burkina Faso, they used to be under, and I want to think it was French flags. I may be wrong. I think it was French. Those flags came down. Guess what flags went up? Russian, Russian flags. So he's expanding different places. He's putting the influence of Russia in different places. They never talk about that, but it is absolutely going on. Hey, Michael. Most European countries hate America. Now they are being taken over by Muslims. They want Ukraine war to continue, especially since Trump quit sending. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, money, absolutely. And like I said, they see themselves as, they see themselves as the leader now. Like, we're taking the lead. We don't need America. We're going to do this. We're going to spend all this money. We're going to advise Zelensky. We're going to check Russia. We don't need you. That's almost the way they're acting. But you're right. Yes, I talked about in the opening. It looks like that we are going to get a third one, and as pressure is continuing to be put on Venezuela for Maduro to step down. Um, there is an article, speaking of Russia, on the Gateway Pundit. The headline is Putin welcomes failing French President Macron's initiative to re-engage with Russia. Bilateral talks may be held shortly. And it goes on to say, when we look at Emmanuel Macron's last moves, we can see that the French president's new impulse to hold talks with Russia's Vladimir Putin as another desperate attempt to remain relevant. As a part of the, quote, coalition, of the willing, Macron was sharing the crowded European stage with UK's Keir Starmer, and I can't stand that dude, by the way. Absolutely. Macron, as I don't care for him, Starmer's even worse. And Germany's Friedrich Merz, together they were working to derail the peace process. And but Merz took the lead when meaningful negotiations took place days ago in Berlin, not Paris. So Macron had to find new ways of remaining relevant, lest he go back to minding France's problems, which we mentioned earlier, which are horrible, where he holds a pathetic 11% popularity in the polls. So on Friday, Macron stated that it would be useful for Europe to re-engage with Putin. This is actually a shrewd move in the sense that none of the other Euro globalists can pivot fast enough to steal the new initiative from him. It is in our interest as Europeans and Ukrainians to find the right framework to re-engage this discussion. And so we've come to the point where Macron and Putin may be headed for bilateral talks on Ukraine. Interesting. As we're talking about all this, little Macron, little face slapped Macron. Can anybody imagine this guy being at the head of a column leading men into battle? No. In fact, none of those losers. None of them. Uh, let's see here. Europe knows they can't take the lead. They're just trying to trick the U.S. into war. I wouldn't doubt that a bit. They're tricksters, yes. I can only imagine what Putin thinks of Macron. Storm. Oh, he's the alpha male in the room. With that bunch, he's the alpha male. He would have them crying. He will have Macron crying. I need help. I'm going to lose my country. I'll be your boy. Just help me. Make me look strong. He sure did. He sure did, broski. Put the smackdown on Macron on the airplane. This guy's supposed to be a leader of a country? Come on. He's a joke. Oh. But yeah, he wants to be he wants to be the dude. Russian media is reporting Putin-Macron talks must be about understanding, capital letters, not lecturing, says Kremlin's spokesperson Peskov. Putin is, quote, always ready to explain his position sincerely. Do you really think that his position is explained sincerely? I think he tells it like the dog that he is in the room. This is the way it's going to be, Bob. You can like it or not like it. It should be a dialogue about understanding each other's positions he has. And we know what position Macron's going to take. And I'm not trying to be dirty, but you understand Putin is not, he ain't going there to tell Putin what to do. Well, that's true. That's true. He is the only man. Like him or hate him or be indifferent towards him. There is one thing you can say about him. He is an alpha man. He don't take no crap. And he is loving every minute of this. It feeds his ego. He has. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, because it's. I think the president. Whenever you're trying to be this, it's not. There's no point A, point B, point C. Whenever you're doing foreign diplomacy, it it always has. There is a point where it gets. It could go one way or the other. Remember when Ronald Reagan told Russia, well, we'll just shoot your missiles out of the air. We've got Star Wars. Whether he really thought that or he faked it, I don't know. He forced them back to negotiation. Well, that could have blew up in his face. So when I say what I'm fixing to say, uh, I'm not trying to be overly critical of the president, but I think I must say it. Putin has played Trump like a drum, and I mean that. Every meeting they ever had, the president says we are close to a deal. We're going to get this done. And every time they walked away, and the president has to be sitting there going, "What the heck?" I mean, it is always, and he's playing him. He can push Zelensky around. He can't push this dude around. I mean, he is a nuclear power. He is who he is. He's not going to listen. He's going to do what he wants to do. And at the end of the day, all the sanctions, all the financial institutions not making them, trade in their money and all that stuff they put pressure on. Going back to Biden, who really come after him that way. The crap ain't worked. This guy has got some tough things in his economy, but he's making money. He's still selling the oil. None of that has slowed down. This dude's like, I'm in the I'm in the seat. I'm the king here. They've come at me with everything they got. They're not going to fight me militarily. They're not going to land troops, and come into Leningrad. That's not going to happen. They're not going to do a bomb and run on my country. He knows this. He knows this. He plays it. He like reels them in. He sets the hook, reels them in, and goes, ha! Almost. It's like the guy with the dollar bill hanging there. Oh, almost had it. Almost. That's what he's doing, and he's loving every single minute of it. Absolutely. Putin having his team say that in the media because it appeals to the soft French, and he's trying to gain the support of all the French people he can. Well, yeah. And, he would love nothing better to make those people admire him more than their own leader, which he's not very much admired. Putin might just take Macron as his concubine, his manly wife. Yeah, he might not get back home. Putin comes out. He goes in that that room that they always do that talk from, and all the Russian generals are sitting there, and their wives and staffers, and I don't know who all they make come. I think sometimes they make people come in there and sit down. They all just sit there and they stare straight ahead and they clap, a little bit. But it's a weird looking room to me. But I could just see him coming out, sitting at the table, and Macron serving him. Would you like some coffee? Dressed in a toga or something. I could see it. I'm telling you, if he had his way, he would do it. I think that Trump generally tried to resolve it at first, and now Trump is like, but let's just make money off euro, and whatever happens to Ukraine happens. Sure, he wants the rare earth, but well, you know what? We absolutely agree. That's why I said, I don't know if you were in here already. I think Venezuela is it's taking a lot of the press off of Russia Ukraine. It's putting it over here. He can push this guy around. He can push Greenland into a deal, and there's resources there for strategy, to have land area in a certain area, or to get the minerals, the oil, or whatever. I mean, heck, we're seizing ships, oil tankers. I don't know how much they hold. Is it a million barrels? I don't know how big the tankers are. Are we going to offload that in Galveston? Are we just taking the oil? I mean, I got questions here, and I'm not even saying I'm against it. Internationally, we could get in the hot water, but are we going to say, well, the cargo was headed to a restricted country or deal, and they say there's 1,000 vessels like this that do business on the black market. Are we going to say these ships are illegal and we're shutting it down, and we just offload the oil at Galveston and use it? I mean, I don't know, but it's interesting. Uh, Dictators always have their groupies. Yes. Well, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. And listen. I know it's not funny in a lot of ways. It's just I have always found an interest in studying how these things work. Uh, I tend to pull back from any issue, and I try to look at it in a very broad spectrum. And yes, sometimes you can go in really close and get into the deal and look at certain things and kind of get to read between the lines. You want to say it. If I'm reading someone's speech, I'm trying to read how they said it, what they didn't say, stuff like that. I look at these operations like that. There's a lot that's going on, and who's the major players? Who would benefit here? What do they say? Why would we do this? Follow the money, certainly, but what is the strategy here? When things are failing elsewhere, remember I know you guys remember All in the Family. And remember what it was. There was an episode where Archie was, of course, into it with Meathead, and he was talking about going to war. I can't remember what he said. He said we could hit someone again. Archie did. He said we could hit someone again. And God, what did he say? I can't remember what, because they were basically a pushover. I don't remember who it was. And it almost feels like that. Like, well, we can't get nothing done here. Let's go hit Venezuela. we got that's closer to home. We're not over in Europe. We ain't got to listen to all them people over there. There's nobody in Latin America that's really going to be a threat to us. We'll put a whole carrier group down there, and we'll just be the dog in the new Gulf of America. We'll be the dog, and we'll push Venezuela around. We'll take some of their oil. We'll kill the drug runners. We'll blow the boats out of the water, and it's got to be feeding his ego. I mean, things got They come in, and Pete Hegseth calls the president. So, Mr. President, we just shot another boat out of the water. I mean, I can just see him. Yes, let's have a party. And now, if he could get Maduro gone, then boy, they could run a heck of a victory lap on that. Yeah, we're making Central America safer. We're making the whole region safer. And my understanding is it's not good to have that carrier group away from hot spots around the world, because we don't have enough carrier groups to go around to do all that. You're always leaving something open. And we've not had a carrier group of this size in the region since the Cuban Missile Crisis, when I was not even born yet. I mean, that tells you how long that's happened. And it's a major operation, and it's getting bigger by the day. But it almost has that feeling like, well, we'll just go hit Venezuela. We'll run some bombing runs on them. I mean, he's hitting Syria too, but he said we're going. They opened the door. We're going to pay you back. You killed some Americans. We're going to bomb the crap out of you. We're going to prop up the Syrian, leader, and we can go bomb some crap. And so we'll hit Syria, ISIS locations again. We will hit Venezuela. We'll knock out some stuff. We'll drop some bombs on the drug boats. We'll send another message to Greenland. You better get ready, because we got to have land there. So you better get ready. You almost see that, and it's almost like with the carrier group down there. You send a little message over to Cuba and say, don't run your mouth, because we're in the region heavily enforced. And this time it won't be the Bay of Pigs. It'll be the end of your country. I can almost see stuff like this happening. It's like, you don't mess with the big dog. I mean, like he's I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if the president doesn't fly out and lands on the aircraft carrier, the General Ford, I think is the one that's down there, and does a review of troops and watches flight operations, and maybe has a little has the media in tow, and sits there and talks to them about the operations down there. And he can say, oh, by the way, we've got these beautiful tankers. They're great. They're awesome. They're the best of the best. And they're filled with oil. the beautiful, the best grade oil. It's the most spectacular oil you could ever get out of the ground. Come right there from Venezuela. We're going to get more of it too. We're going to bring that up to America. We're going to bring down energy costs, and it's going to make a lot of money for a lot of people. It's the greatest, most beautiful thing ever. I could almost see that happening. Well, I had wondered about that, Michael. All the oil is supposed to be offloaded at Galveston because they already have and that's what I thought. Over 1 million barrels. I kind of thought that. Yeah, man. A bit more at 9 a.m. Yeah, man. Prayers for you. I hope that's just a regular visit. You get some rest, man, and yeah, that's less than 12 hours away now. So you take care. Hey, man. Thanks for stopping by. God bless. Appreciate you, buddy. Uh, I'm gonna stay on for a while. I'd planned on doing a second show. I may just expand this one. I don't know, but I still need to come back in and do that show. And it might be Rumble only because of the content. So I wouldn't do it in this show, but but I may have another show a little later. We'll see. I told James I was going to be on because when he goes out, he's going to raid the channel and help his. He needs to help his numbers over there, and that helps him. So they had a really good show going on about homelessness in Springfield, Ohio, and crappy stuff that was going on up there. So I listened to a little bit. It was a good show. I really enjoyed his guests and things they had going on. Stopped by Big Tony's. Just standard visit. Okay, man. Good to hear. Go get some good checkup, whatever. Be out the door and get ready for Christmas. Enjoy your week, man. The weather's going to be a little warmer. It's nicer. Not cold like it was, at least for right now. That's kind of cool. I like that. I'm drinking some good coffee tonight. Coffee tastes good. Had a good church service this morning. We didn't have one tonight because we had a lot of activities throughout the day, and people got a lot going on. So we didn't have that tonight, but we did have a good service this morning. It's been a good day. I watched a little football this afternoon. Uh, believe it or not, the Falcons won. I can't believe that. I watched. Let's see, who was it? Steelers beat Detroit. That was a close game. Had some great play in it. You know, Buffalo was doing good. I saw a few of the scores. I think the Vikings won. Big games coming up. The Bears got a big game coming up. You know, they lost, and now they've got to get a win. They want to. It's imperative they get a win. Broski, they've got to have a win. I was trying to think of what else I looked at. I really didn't look at the TV much. I was looking mainly online. I will say tomorrow night, Miss Mary Fagan Keene will be not in the studio, but in the show. I've just got this book in. This is 500 pages about this case and ongoing um, attempts to honor her. She's the true victim here, and this is going to be. I really look forward to this. The first of several. We are scheduled for 2 hours Monday night, 7 to 9 p.m. And I'm going to be. I won't get this read before the interview, but I'm pretty familiar with the case. I've studied it in depth, and we're here to let her speak anyway. I'm just going to continue the discussion, and Paul Biscuit Boy, I think, is going to be in with me tomorrow afternoon. Hey, Jake. Tomorrow afternoon, we're planning to be at Book and Barrel Bookstore and do a live from there early tomorrow afternoon, way before this interview, and we will we will have two shows on. Not to. Well, I don't know if probably not tonight, brother, but we will get it this week. So I hadn't had a chance to talk to you, and we need to. I just need to email with you, Jake. But let's get it done. And I'll tell you, I've been writing my new schedule out. That's what I was doing this weekend. Was really working on my schedule, and I'll get with you about when I kind of penciled that in to make sure it was okay with you, and we'll do it this week. I'm off all week uh, from work, except for my Saturday work. I'm off all week, so I'll be working around the house. I'll be doing podcast work. We're gonna do some interviews. Next Monday night will be the dirt truck driver. Scott Smith is going to be in. We just set up another one today. It's going to be after the first of the year with another dirt truck driver. We're going to get it in right after the first of the year. We have a couple of more. We're really getting a lot in the racing, a lot of interviews. Miss Amy Petula. I got to find my book. I don't know what I've done with it. because I take books and I lay them around. I don't think I've got it in the studio, but my book about the Corpsewood murders, written by Amy Petula, she messaged me from the cruise ship, and uh, yeah, let's do a big show, Jake. Absolutely, man. Uh, she messaged me. She's going to be back in town tomorrow. We're going to talk tomorrow, and we're going to get that interview set up here soon. And I'm also going to do a ghost tour with her, we'll have fun with that. I'll grab Biscuit Boy and my son, and we'll try to get that done this week. I want to do also one with the Southern Shadows. Matter of fact, I need to contact them tomorrow or Tuesday and set that up, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun these 2 weeks. We're going to get a lot of work done. We're going to do a lot of stuff. Um, I think let's do one big show to make up for 2 months that we didn't do. And I know you've been busy. I know you remember. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, man. No. Yeah. It's cool, man. Let's do it. I'm for rocking it out. I just need to plan ahead of time. But we'll do it, man. I will do the wrestling, and we're gonna get that on a regular. That's gonna become, every month we're gonna do that. We're gonna set that, and we're gonna do it, and and forevermore. So let it be written. So let it be done. But yes, Jake, I'll put that up so people can see what you were saying. We will get that done. The wrestling show. There's a lot of wrestling news going on right now. I also have. We don't have the date yet. I think it'll be soon. Chris McDaniel, who used to be in Confederate Railroad, he ministers for the Lord Jesus Christ. They saw 11 saved in the meeting he was at this week, and he's going to be on the podcast. We're going to share Jesus. We're just going to celebrate. This is a week of celebration for Jesus, and I will be on in the morning where this new schedule's set. The new schedule, I'll be kicking off in the morning. It'll be expanded morning show, and then I'm going to go Christmas shopping for a while and get some things done. And then tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, we're going to be locked into interviews and shows and having a good time. Looking forward to that. So it'd be week. Tuesday is certainly is that. And I don't have my list in front of me. It's up at the house. But Tuesday, don't forget, is the Southern Claws and Paws, the pet show. We got horses this week. We got horses, multiple, and the names of a lady I work with and her horses. And we're going to highlight horses this week, among the many other things we do. Def Leppard Part 4. Three. Three in it. Anyway, we're going to cover Hysteria Tour, that time frame. We're going to do that. And in Bibles and Battlefields, the history show, we'll continue to look at the Battle of Chickamauga. I covered Patrick Claiborne last time. I'm going to swing it around, cover from the other side. We're going to look at George Thomas, the Rock of Chickamauga. We'll definitely feature him as the guy that we're going to look at on that and learn more about him and some things about his. We looked at just briefly an overview of him, but I want to dive in a little bit more and about that. The former vice president who recently passed, his ancestor was under his command at that where they held the ground, which we should have moved on in. I know another story. But Dick Cheney's great grandfather or whatever, great, I can't remember. I think it was great. It was great. He fought at that battle. And he came down here, I think at least twice, and came in and people I know were there to give him, to meet him and guide him and show him the spot where his unit was and all that up on the hill there at the Battle of Chickamauga. So we'll be talking about that. There's some shows kind of coming back online that we haven't done. We're going to be getting America First show back going. We're going to be the Vent. Haven't done that. And yes, the reformatted. It'll have all the particular famous stuff that we had fun with. The Cornbread Nation show will air this Thursday. I can't wait. Biscuit Boy may be a part of that. He seems to like he wants to really join in and be a part of that. And I want him to. Whatever he feels like he can do. And we're going to get the Cornbread Nation show going again. Yes. Our destination of the week, our Southern Friday at 5, our Jacklegs, all that will be back online this week. We had to slow down a little bit, kind of line some things up again, dial some things in, as you hear mechanics say, and now we're pushing forward as never before. We're not slowing down. We're keeping going. You're going to be seeing new logos, new business cards, new um, stuff in the store. The coffees have got a new logo. It's already done. I just got to get with them. The website's being updated as we speak. That should be done probably because of the holiday. It might be into next week. That will happen. There's a new banner coming in. It's already on the way. That will go up behind me on the wall somewhere. We're going to kind of redo some stuff in the studio. So you'll be a lot of stuff. It's not a brag, just giving you, after all, if you are a follower, if you're a breadhead of all things Cornbread Man, Cornbread Nation, Cornbread Nation News, Southern Fried Patriots, Wolf Nation, all that. If you're a breadhead, as we call you, then I want to keep you updated. I don't want you being in the dark. I want you to know what we're doing and what we're trying to do because you're a part of that. Without you, we don't have a show. And so without the listener, you have it. You can support us in many ways, and we're going to start re-engaging those. We're still putting them out online. And if you don't follow some of the things, you'll see. If you do, you'll see some of the clips we're doing. We've had some funny clips the last few days, and I've been putting those up. Don't forget the Ascending Group. The Ascending Group, which sponsors Wolf Nation. We excited about this relationship and where it's going to go, and I can't wait. It's already in motion. We're just there's a lot be happening with that. We have taken it slow, and we are finding our footing together. And 2026 will be a big year for that. So we're just that we'll get back to Ringo. We couldn't do the live show this weekend. We'll get back down there Saturday as well, and we're going down live tomorrow, but around the corner. We're not going to cheat. We're not going to cheat that. We're going to continue to do the Saturday morning AM. I like that show. On the 26th, we're going to go to Marietta, lay the flowers at little Mary Fagan's grave, and we're going to make sure it looks good, all cleaned up. Told Miss Mary Fagan King that we would be doing that. And we're going to go by the site of the Corpsewood murders. That's the plan. And do a little as best we can get light. We should have enough light. We can do a little bit of recording there in the spooky darkness near the National Forest, which is the Corpsewood Manor location where there's just some foundational stuff left. But we're going to go there in eerie evening time. So we're not on the national part or property, but we're close by because that's where it was at. And yes, we will have protection as we go. In the morning, as I said, Cornbread Nation morning show kicking off right around 6 a.m. We will look at several things that's going on in the news. We will look at our National Day and this day in history and birthdays and all that good stuff. It might be an expanded show in the morning, maybe most of the week as I'm off work. And we'll see. We'll see. Some days maybe can't. Looking for something to do special for Thursday, even though I told you what was going to air. I'd like to have a little something Christmas morning maybe. We come on. Don't expect a lot of people to be in, but we're going to do something, and we'll read. We may read the Christmas story. May do that, and as found in the book of Luke. And wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and just have a nice little beginning to our Christmas day. And we'll see. We will see. We got a lot to get done this week. It's going to be a busy week in some ways, and other ways I can find time to rest. And I was doing some of that today. Spend time with my wife. We were getting her Rumble straightened out. She had to redo her password, and she was out looking at some of these podcasts as well. And she can do that. She can't talk, but she can text, and she can't talk much. She can get small things out. Hopefully, pray for her to get better. The church was so great today. God bless them. They gave her a nice gift basket. It was just packed with stuff. And so thankful for our church and what a blessing they were. Merry Christmas, Minnesota Patriot. You're awesome to drop in and say that. Yes. And I was just bragging on my church and what they did for my wife as she's battled the health problems. That basket was huge. I said, that's going to come in handy. I'm going to keep all your stuff in it, like medications and stuff. But she got some nice soft socks and some snacks, and some, stuff that she would like as a lady. And I was tickled. I mean, it really touched my heart that they did that. I told them they didn't have to do anything, but they wanted to do it, and they're awesome. And she loved it, and she still orders egg gifts. She can't go shopping too much, but she shops online now. We got, my gosh, I don't even know what she's ordered. We got packages dropping off every day. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Minnesota Patriot 76. God bless you. I see you around several of the, because you're obviously locked in, and you go to these good podcasts like Killer Carl and uh, Big Tony Speaks and James and Empty Pockets and probably some others, I'm sure, Violent Vixen, and wherever you go. Thank you for stopping by the Southern Fried Patriot Show. And tonight I'm in as Cornbread Nation, and we thank you for stopping in. Bless your heart. He's a patriot. That's why he's the Minnesota Patriot, and loves America. Doesn't like a lot of things that's going on, like a lot of us. We're standing against this the enemy that was within, the enemy within. And we didn't even have to have a Trojan horse. You remember that? We just opened the door and said, "Come on in." Come on in, wreck America. That's what they did. They just said, "Come on in. We'll let you just wreck our country, and we'll pay you to do it. We're going to give you money. We're going to give you all these things. We're going to give you some housing. We're going to give you some benefits. We're going to give you some checks, some Visa cards. We're going to give you free health care. We're just going to lock you in, and while you're here getting all this free stuff, you can just create havoc all across the land." And the Democrats were, yes, yes. Thank you for helping us tear apart America. That's where we're at. But the Patriots are standing. That's right. The Patriots are standing up. Did you see the video? It's happening more and more where, because the police don't have, oh, you're welcome, brother. Hey, I enjoy listening to you. Sometimes I just go in and watch. I don't even say nothing. And I like to listen to Andy and Dan and Minnesota and different ones that are in Killer Carl's chat room. Sometimes I just watch. Sometimes I'm busy and I keep up with the chat and I'm listening to the show. And I love that we got people there passionate, fighting for the same things I believe in. But the people are getting tired, very, very tired of the crapola, as Archie Bunker would say, that is going on in our country, and they're starting to take actions. I mean, like, and around the world. I don't think it's just here. I think around the world, there's good people are sick and tired of the crap. So when these idiots start acting up, there are people taking them out. It's like, oh, you think you're going to do that in America? No, they're dropping them. They're taking them down. They're shooting them. They're making sure that they're not, abusing women and children. They're engaging them, and whether it's a restaurant or whether it's a park or wherever it's at. The people are standing up and saying, "We're not going to put up with it." You know what? And I am full on. If you cannot live here in peace and harmony as a citizen, then you don't deserve the citizenship of this country. It should be stripped from these people, and they should be de-escaported out of here to wherever they came from, or wherever. I don't even care. I don't care if you take them to an island. I don't care. We've got some bombed out islands. We can take people like that too. And we'll call it Club Gitmo or something. I don't care, but get rid of them. They don't deserve to be here. If you're gonna commit treason against the country, you're gonna terrorize its citizens. You'll either end up dead in jail for a long, long time, and then they should be, after the jail sentence, get them out of here. Just remove them. You should look. There's a podcaster in Atlanta. I got to listen to her a long time, but she has a slogan: "If you're an American, act like it." Well, that's true. One, you need to be an American. If you're going to be here on a work visa, well, you need to work. You need to act right. If you're going to be an American, act like it. With citizenship comes responsibility, and people should be responsible in how they act. We can't allow our streets and our communities to be terrorized by a faction of people that don't care. So the people are getting sick of it. It reminds me of that scene, and whatever people think of Buford Pusser, I really don't care. I love the movie, the first one. At the end, with they say he killed his wife. Who knows what happened with all that? But anyway, at the end of that movie, as his wife has been killed, he's injured and all that. He goes there to get the rest of the bad guys, or some of them, and the people show up in mass, and they take that building and they burn it to the ground. They're like, "You're not going to commit the sin and the crap here at this place anymore in our community." So, whether that's invading the meth houses or people are going to start to take over their streets again, their communities, they're saying, "You're not going to have this trashy place in our community. We're not going to put up with it. We're going to get you out of here." And the police department, some of them like that, I love those guys in Florida. They go up there, they get a hold of the property, they file the paperwork because all it is a place that it's just a trap house. It's horrible, and they go in there and mow it down and arrest all these people, and they take it out of their community. The people out there helping, they're helping and they're clapping and celebrating because nobody wants that crap in their community. If they do, you're part of the problem. Who wants a place that's dealing massive drugs or theft? With drugs comes thefts, rapes, child trafficking, all that. Get that crap out of here. you know, and nowadays, I mean, my God, it's been going on for a while. The stealing of organs. You could be going to a place and thinking you're going to be having drinks or something. Next thing you know, they put something into your drink, and they got you to a motel, and then you wake up and your stomach's opened up, and you're missing a couple of organs. I mean, that's what happens. Hello, Angry Conservative 1981. Another one of those. Yes, it does, broski. It sure does. Another one of those wonderful people that is a Rumble creator that I think highly of. And the man, the legend from Alabama, the great state of Alabama. Hey, Miss Cindy, who gave me the name Cornbread Man. So I am eternally grateful. Kimosabe. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you had a great show. Oh, I know you did, because that's what you have. You have great shows. So after the great show, thanks for coming over and rating. Get your numbers. Thanks for coming by and saying, hey, Merry Christmas to all of you. How many are legit homeless who deserve our help? I don't know the number, but it ain't as many as what they say there is, because a lot of them could work and do, and they don't. So, but Miss Cindy and Angry Conservative 1981, y'all have a Merry Christmas. A frequent AC's channel. Thank you for the Merry Christmas. Are you frequent? Yeah, you and good. See, I told you, broski. You come over to Rumble, you're gonna run into all these wonderful people. If you haven't met Miss Kim at Kim's Coffee Talk in the mornings, she comes on late after toward the end of when we're on. Go over and give her a listen. She tells it like it is from Woodstock, Georgia. And these are just wonderful people. Big Tony, Empty Pockets, Killer Carl, and many, many others. I just continue to find these wonderful creators. And even the ones that don't do the talk show typical like we're doing, they may be doing gaming or they may be doing NASCAR, whatever they're doing. They're wonderful people. You go in, they treat you kind, they thank you, and they are awesome people. And that's what you find. And it is a blessing to be in this community. Thank you, part of you, for coming in. I've gave you a follow. We appreciate you. And thank you for coming over from there and going ahead and doing the raid. And it's a way for us to network and meet each other and get to know each other even better. That's what I love. It's one of the greatest things Rumble has done is to make the raid a part of the creator program. I love it. And, every night I'm looking for somebody to go on their channel. And now we're networking together. I mean, I'm getting phone calls and they'll say, hey, Dave, you going to do a show tonight? Well, yeah. Well, hey, I'm going to be on, man. I'm going to raid your channel. So we're kind of networking like that. And if none of my close friends are on, I just get in the lives and I start looking up something and I think, I'm going to go meet somebody tonight. I'm going to go meet somebody, be a blessing to their channel. And whatever they're in, I'm just going to come in and take part in whatever they're doing. And then, give them a repost, give them a follow, a like, all that stuff. Tonato's over at Big Tony's. I got to look in his store. I'm a sucker for coffee mugs, and I ordered me the Big Tony coffee mug. And I told him I was going to put it in the studio. He wants to see that. And we all have little things that help us keep the podcast going. So, just trying to help out, be a blessing, you know. Thank you for saying that, Angry. Hey, that means a lot coming from an Ohio State fan. I mean, man, that's a high honor for a dog fan. Did the ground just shake? Like we got Ohio State fans saying a good thing about a Georgia fan? Well, that's good. We do have victory in Jesus. Amen. Page 120 in the old Redback hymnal. Just having some fun on a Sunday night, man. I've had a good day. And life is good, you know, with all the problems and stuff that's going on in our lives, and everybody's got something. It's still a good life. There's a lot of good things going on. We get through the tough days. You guys and gals don't know how much. Some days, if it weren't for you, I mean, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, I've got the Lord. I don't mean that. What I mean is that it is inspirational to come into. It's cathartic. It's therapy to come into a program and have people stop by and saying, something kind. If it's just, hey, hello, good to see you, you know. And I remember years ago, and I said this on my Sunday morning show one time, but years ago, and everybody has a hard day. Everybody, no matter what you're doing, no matter your passion. And one day I was coming out of church, and our church at that point wasn't doing the radio broadcast. We had done it before, but some of the guys had moved on. We weren't doing it. And I knew there was a guy that had it was an AM station. He's with the Lord now. He had been around. He'd been doing this show for 30 years. 30 years. He'd been doing a 30-minute radio show at a local AM station. I don't even know if he was ever a pastor, but he was a preacher. And I felt like God just pricked my heart and said, go support him. So I told my wife, I said, I'm going to go support this guy. And she knew who he was. She'd met him several times. And she said, well, okay, I'm going to go home and get dinner ready. And she said, just, by the time you get home, dinner will be ready. So we had a game plan. We drove separate cars a lot because I would go do stuff like that. My youngest son says, hey, Dad, I want to go with you. I said, okay, let's go. So we get over to the radio station, and normally there'll be other church people there. You know, they help sing. You know, they're just there to amen corner. Well, there was nobody there. And he was sitting down at the table, and he was just talking to everybody. He hadn't preached anything yet. He was just giving announcements, and he sounded a little down. Hey, we all have that. You know, he don't even know if anybody's listening. You got the engineer in there. He's running the dials. He's sitting in the studio, got the big mic in front of him and the Bible open, and he just sounds like he's a little sick. His voice is not, really clear. I have that right now. And he just looked like he was a little defeated, just the human side, not the spirit side, just the flesh. Me and my son just slid in. And, he perked up. He saw us slide in, like a smile come across his face. Totally shocked him. Well, then he got into his sermon, and me and my son, we amened him a couple of times. Oh, I want to tell you, it was like Popeye with spinach. He just came alive, and before I know it, he's standing up and he's preaching the word, and we had a great time in the Lord. And at the end after he closed the show out, he told me, he said, brother, you will never know just how much it meant for me for you to come here. I said, well, I don't deserve the credit. It was God. He said, well, amen. But he said, I want you to tell you that I appreciate it. He said, my wife is sick today. He said, I'm still a little sick. Everybody at church had something else to do. And he said, I don't have to have anybody, but it sure is nice. And he said, it just made all the difference for me today. And I tell that little story to tell you this, for those of you that come in the chat, or those of you that watch and you never chat, the number's still there. And most of we see the number. But if you come in and you say something, you never know how you're helping somebody. Because even though we love what we do, sometimes, hey, I've been in shows where nobody was there, zero. But it's fine. I've always been known as the guy that will preach the same whether there's one there or 500. I will. And so I'm just going to do a show. I'm going to pretend there's people there. When I've preached, I used to do recordings for my podcast. I would preach at the church. and I was the only one there. And I was standing at the pulpit. I set up the microphones and everything, and I envisioned that there were people sitting in the pews to preach. That's the way I did it. So when I'm doing this, I envision. I don't even know what most of you look like, but I do, like, the angry conservative, because I see him on his show. But I just envision you there, wherever you're at in America or in the world, and you're there and you're taking and giving some of your precious time to this podcast. It means a lot to me because you don't have to do that. You got a lot going on in your life. This is a busy week. I get it. It means a lot, and it should mean a lot. And I can say for every creator that does it. It means a lot when you come in and you say, "Hey, how's it going, man? Keep up the good work," or whatever you're saying, or if you're picking us, we're having fun. It energizes the creator, because we're same way. Our voice ain't working right, the equipment's messing up, the something's broken home. You got a you got a tough day at work tomorrow, or whatever's going on in your life. Somebody cut you off on the road and told you you're number one, whatever. And you got somebody that comes in and they stop in and they just say, "Hey, Merry Christmas," or something. That's cool stuff. So I like to do that. And tonight you've blessed. Rebel Studio goes down. Okay. But yeah, it does. Hey, I've had that happen. Internet stops, power goes out. It's always mass chaos 30 seconds before a show starts and 30 seconds afterwards. Tonight I had to reset the stream because one of my streams didn't come up. I'd never had that happen before in Rumble, and had to do it. We got it. So I got to go delete that one that was there for a few seconds. So yeah, you have things happen. And for what we want to do for you is give you something interesting, something entertaining, if it's to laugh, just laugh with us or whatever, and to be passionate about what we're doing, so that, it does, you're not wasting your time. You're getting something out of it. And, and even though there's no money changing hands, unless you help a creator or something, there is a time investment, and that's money. That's time you can't get back, and that's value. And it means a lot. I've always said that. It means a lot. And thanks for the fellow creators. They are amazing. You go into a stream, and I remember the day, I've said this before, I remember the day that Angry Conservative first came over to the podcast, and I didn't know who he was, and it was refreshing. We were so new on Rumble. I don't think we had but 15 followers. And I don't even know if we had 15. We had a few. Maybe we had 5. I don't even remember. Maybe it was 15. I can't remember. And Angry Conservative comes in, I think it was on a Saturday or something, comes in and says, "Hey," praise God, there's life in Rumble. I didn't even know none of the creators yet. Well, I did know one. I take that back. It was a guy I'd watched quite a bit. He does a political show, and I knew that's how I learned about Rumble anyway, was through him. And so I had a Rumble channel for a while because I started watching some of the creators, but I didn't know them all. I just had 2 or 3 that I tried to watch all the shows that they did. I didn't know anybody else. So I was like, "Hey, cool. There's a guy named Angry Conservative." I was telling Rob, I said, "There's a guy named Angry Conservative, 1981. He come to the stream. I don't know what he's angry about, but he's conservative." And he said, "Hey." Now I know what he's angry about. He's angry about all the stuff we talk about. He's angry about, the things that are happening to America. So now it makes all sense. When I first saw it, I thought, he's angry at conservatives. I thought, I'm in trouble. Sometimes you're looking at something, your eyes play tricks with you, and I thought he was angry at conservatives. Well, hey, that fits too, because sometimes we're angry at conservatives who don't act conservative. Rhinos, you're not conservative. You act like it. You try to speak it, but you're fake. You speak with forked tongue. You're a liar. And so we do get angry at conservatives because they don't do what they're supposed to do. So, and I admit, it does sound like fun doing the Christmas trivia according to the Bible. I like that. That's always fun. I like to do different stuff, and everybody's got a little something, a little spin on stuff. And so you go somewhere and you're like, "Oh, that's a cool idea. I never thought about that." So that's the cool beans aspect. That's where the creator part comes in, creating entertainment, creating something that's different and stuff. Um, I don't know, man. I I don't know, but I'll leave that one alone. But I'll get in trouble. I, I don't want to get in trouble. Not that I'm, let's leave it alone. I have people watching. I don't want we get along. Let's leave it alone. But you're welcome to say whatever within reason. And I figure you're aggravated, because the Bears lost anyway. You got to you got to get the Bears back on the winning ways. And if you're still in here, is Ohio State going to win this whole thing? I say no, but I'd be interested. What's going to happen is Indiana's going to win this whole thing, right? I hope not, but that's who they want to win this thing. They want the storybook season, the Heisman Trophy. They the undefeated. They want Indiana to win. Oh, they did win today. I thought they lost. Maybe I was thinking of last week. Who'd they beat? Who did they beat? You would like a rematch? I bet you would. I will bet you would, man. Absolutely. I understand. Oh, they clinched the playoff spot today. Okay, the Birds. Okay, I'm sorry. I said they lost. I didn't watch all the football I normally do. We did watch a couple of games, but we were also, I was doing a lot in podcast world on my phone and stuff. So, yeah, man. That would be, man. That's money gold right there. Having that would be a absolutely. Can you imagine what the seats would cost for that? Oh my gosh, when the scalpers got a hold of them. Oh, that's right. I was thinking. I thought for the Packers came. Okay, that's right. Steelers. Yeah, I did watch. I watched the Steelers Lions game, so the Bears are in. They beat the Packers. I thought the Packers came back and got that late score. So that's right. So yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I got you fired up. The Bears won. The Bears. Y'all need a new song. They had that music video they did that year they won the Super Bowl. Y'all need a new song. Ah, if they make it to Atlanta, I have tickets. Nice. Nice. I like it. That would be cool. I'm telling you, that'd be one heck of a game, man. I would be one heck of a game. There is no doubt about it. But there's work to be done before you can get there, and on our side as well. So it could be Ohio State and Georgia. It could be. We're going to see, by the way, Tulane, goodbye. James Madison University, goodbye. Parting is such sweet sorrow. I hope you made a bunch of money on your merchandise as people really got to know your programs better, especially JMU. But you knew they were never going to win against these teams. So uh, that's the Super Bowl shuffle. That's right. The Super Bowl shuffle. I remember all that. I forgot the name of it, but I still remember Jim McMahon and Refrigerator Perry and the great, oh man, who's the running back, the one that passed. I know him, but for some reason Gail Sayers popped in my head. Of course, it wasn't him, and I can't think of his name, but you can throw it in there, Bears fans. So, or Bear fan. Um, we had the Icky Shuffle or whatever that was called. The little thing. We need stuff like that. I do believe that. I do. I think Indiana is very good. I don't think they're above these two teams or equal. I think we're slightly better than them. Peyton, yes, thank you, Walter Payton. Yes, thank you for that. Does it still bother you that he didn't get a touchdown in that game? That Perry got it. or do you care? A lot of Bears fans were not happy that he didn't get the touchdown after all those seasons, and they weren't a high scoring offense or nothing. They were good, but they weren't high scoring. They had a great, great, great defense. That 46 defense, man, that's one of the best defenses ever in the NFL. It ranks up there with all the greats. That was what a season, what a season. Uh, but yes, it does. So I kind of figured because he kept you. I mean, he's kept the people in the seats and worked so very hard and went through a lot of horrible teams and got there. Good luck to Miami coming to Columbus in early January. My brother-in-law is a Miami fan. Oh, Miami's not going to win this thing. No way. I don't care how good they say their defense is. Not going to happen. Now, Ole Miss is playing really well, but they're not going to win the whole thing either. I don't see that happening. Hey James, thanks for coming in. I did stay long enough, and I see you got off, and now you're here. We're talking a little bit of everything. We're talking some sports right now. This is another one of those great guys, Empty Pockets Podcast, Mr. James from up there in Springfield, Ohio, where he's the mayor of the Haitian community. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. The game is set December 31st. You had a good show going on. I wish I could listen to more, James. I was getting ready to come get online, but I did bounce around and was in Big Tony's show for a while, came over to yours, and then went into the Half Pine Forge Celtic Blacksmith. A blacksmith playing a blacksmith game. That was kind of interesting. I wish I could have watched that a little more. And then we came and got online. Glad you could come over. God bless you. Merry Christmas to you. And blessings of health upon you. I know that's been a challenging year. We could pray for continued good health for James at Empty Pockets Podcast. If y'all are not following him, please do. You will not be disappointed in any of these creators. They're amazing, and I like to watch them myself as often as I can. And me and James are trying to do a little work together, and we're about the same age. We come from a little bit different stuff, but we agree on stuff. Absolutely, we do. And I noticed when we were talking music the other night, he does go into some music I don't care for, but our right down the middle music, I think we're pretty much close. I mean, close. You mentioned a couple of bands like I've never seen, and I don't think that I ever care to go. Oh, you're killing me. I think you said you went and saw Corn. Was that you said you saw Corn? I never saw Corn. Alabama is set to go to Alabama, or set to go to Indiana on January 1st. Who do you think wins that game? I think Indiana wins that game. I do. Bama didn't play great. They came back and got the win, but they got issues. They've had issues all year. And I just don't think that I don't think they win that game. It'll be a good game. It's not going to be a blowout. Indiana typically is not blowing people out, but they'll play very well. I just think Indiana wins that game. James, the Muslim overlord. He's James is he does cat investigations because unfortunately they've had a lot of cats come up missing in Springfield, and James has kind of been heading up that. They don't like him for it either, that he brings this point up, that there seems to be the arrival of some people with the disappearance of cats. And there are people in the country that don't like it that he made this video because they say that, that's not true. And James is on the ground there in Springfield, and James says it's absolutely true. So I'm being a little facetious here because James knows. but he was telling me that there's been, they've the city has come out and got on to him about some stuff like a pallet leaning up against the the house or a shop or whatever. And then he's got people that are mad at him, and he's getting a little bit more political up there, and they don't like that. I love it. God bless you, Angry, for following. Empty Pockets. He's another fine fella. And by the way, I don't know if you've ever had him, and I'm not trying to give you. You should have James in for an interview. I mean, that's for sure. You won't be disappointed in that. He came on mine for an interview and was a real blessing. Oh yeah, you mentioned Disturbed, Godsmack, Creed. Creed, I know the other two. I mean, I know of them, but I've never saw them. Yeah, to the fam. Great people here. This is like an all-star chat room tonight. Just amazing folks, and I'm very honored to have them in chat tonight. So, y'all are awesome people. I learn from every one of you, and I'm always listening and evaluating. You know, nobody has all the information. I would like to think I do. I try to have as much information as I can. Oh, yeah, he says he's been called everything, and they weren't calling him to dinner. They just called him everything. So I understand. Yeah. But as I listen to some of you guys in the chat or other creators or the combination of the two, you give me things to think about. You give me things I never thought about, or in a way that I didn't think about it, and so I'm. See, there you go. He says it, and they don't like it. They do not like that he calls this out, and there's major people that have said, and I've there's been people in my chat say, "Oh, that never happened. That's all made up," you know. But James is here to tell you there's a bunch of kittens not around anymore. They're just gone, so they can say what they want. But back to my point is, I take all this information, I cycle it through this feeble brain of mine, and I hate it. I don't ever want to be closed minded. Like some things I'm never going to change my mind on. That Jesus is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I don't have to. That's set. That's it. Never change it. But in sometimes we just don't have all the information on something, or it just gives me ways to think about it. Then I do research, and so I'm not closed that way. I'm willing to adjust because I'll say, you know what, I didn't have all the information. I didn't have enough. There's some pivotal information I didn't have. So and then sometimes people say stuff, and I'm like, I don't think I really believe that. I can't think of an example right now, but I tend to do that. I'm very analytical that way. And when I have somebody on the show, and that's like Big Tony was talking about Nick Fuentes. This whole Tucker's caught a lot of flack for having him on. And here's what I would say. There's a problem in our country, and has been. It's getting worse. Here's the thing: just because I have somebody on my show does not mean I support their total values. I may just want to have an interview, and I've had people on that we were pretty different from all around the world. It's called an interview. Now they said he cozied up to him and all that. He is conservative. He's got some things that I would never agree with, not that I know all of them because I'm not tied that deep. But it goes back to that if we're going to do interviews and we're going to give people an opportunity to hear somebody, you got to put them on the air. That's not saying you support what they support. It's just, and again, they said he could ask tougher questions. I get that. But it is good to have that exchange of ideas. That's what college campuses were supposed to be, the place where everybody had a voice and you just exchanged ideas. You agree with some things, you didn't agree. Nowadays, you can't have an opinion on certain things, or they're trying to, the mob and the college itself is trying to shut you down. That's bullcrap. That's not what America's for, and I like to be able to have that. Um, He says, I have been doxxed and targeted in my community. And he says, also, my opinion, my opinion is based on the information I have at the time. Absolutely. There's a phrase, I'll do when I know more, I'll do better or something like that. When I know more, because I may need more information, I'll do better. James says, I like Nick a little bit. Fair enough. You can like something about someone without liking the totality of what they're for. And I think that's important. Thank you that. Thank you for that. And thank you for finding me tonight. I went in as Cornbread Nation, threw people off. So, I don't use this part of it's all in the same family of channels, but I don't use it as often. But I am the Cornbread Man. And I agree with this statement, James. You should be able to interview anyone you want. Dang right, dang Skippy. And I do not like someone telling me I can't. I will make the decision on what I do. I may be dead wrong in what I do, but I want to have the right to make that decision. And if sometimes that's not going to fly with other people, and I get that, that's fine. But I like to sit down and talk to people, and I like to learn more about them for myself and make my own opinions. I'll give you an example. At work, somebody would tell me, this guy's a jerk, or this lady, she's horrible, and blah, blah, blah. I've had it happen at church too. I know these people. They're no good. They come visit the church. I know them, Pastor. They're bad. What I tell people is, I value your opinion and I appreciate it. I'm not dismissing it. But I tell them the same thing every time. I will evaluate this person on my own through interaction that I have with them personally. And because I have found that sometimes people exaggerate. Not always. Sometimes they are right, and you find out real quick, oh, they were correct. Okay. But at the same time, as a Christian, I should be able to go to talk to people that are totally polar opposite than me, if I choose to, for the gospel, to let my light shine, whatever it is. Absolutely. How am I ever going to convince them that, hey, you need to take a look at Jesus Christ if I never talk to them? How am I going to let my light shine? How am I ever going to be an influencer towards them if I never listen to them, if I never talk to them? That's what podcasts are for. And that's why Rumble's important, that we can sit and do that with people, and we don't need nobody telling us we can't do it. I mean, if I could go back in history, there's some very controversial figures. Heck yeah, I'd like to have the interview with them. I think it'd be neat. But I don't think Tucker's on point all the time. I see problems. There's times I really like his show. There's times I'm like, don't really care for that show. Didn't care for this. That's fine. That's my taste. I'm not even giving reasons. It's just, is what it is. I could say the same thing about Joe Rogan. I could say the same thing about me. Sometimes I don't like me. I've got to do good there. I got to do better. But I want to be able to have the opportunity to talk to people. When I come into Killer Carl's show, and have been blessed to do that a few times, thanks to him for having me up, and James and others, Angry Conservative. When I was on his show, and there's a panel of podcasters, of people that are sharing, we are exchanging a lot of ideas. Then you look down in the chat that's got about, there's about 2,300 people watching the show, and there can be as many as, 50, 60, 100 people, whatever, chiming in the chat. There's a lot of information flow. And sometimes people disagree in the chat on his show because they are talking about a whole lot of different things they have in mind before. We should absolutely keep it civil. We shouldn't attack people. We should, not demean people, but we should be able to exchange those ideas and respect the host and all those things, sure. But I've seen disagreements on Carl's show where it got pretty hot. I was like, wait a minute, are they joking or is this real? Oh, and sometimes they were joking. And then other times they were going, wait a minute, they're actually mad at each other right now. Wow. But they love each other. But they could, they got angry. They got upset. Somebody said something. So sometimes somebody pushes your button, and it's the way it's said and all that. But, sometimes people get mad. I had a guy come into one of the streams we're on, and he just let me have it in about 15 posts. I never talked to the guy personally. But I read every post. every word of every post. And he was doing paragraphs. And every post was telling me that I was a fool, that I didn't know what I was talking about. I read every single one of them. I didn't dismiss them. And I tried to find, was there any validity to what he was saying? And it was on a spiritual matter. It was spiritual. It was biblical. And at the end of it, my evaluation said, dude, you're taking scriptures out of context. And I don't agree with your thesis here, your evaluation of me. And I don't think I'm wrong. So I sent him a message. I said, listen, you probably, if you read it, you read it. If you don't, you don't. And I always say the same thing. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I read the comments. I read all of them. And, obviously I don't agree with what you said. But what I said at the end was this: I'm glad that we have a place that we can share that information. And so if I never hear from you again, that's fine. But I did want to know. I didn't just go and delete it. I read it. I'm that guy that reads his hate mail as well as his fan mail. It balances you really a whole lot, and so you get along. James says, I have got along with so many people others can't stand. I can say the same thing, my friend. Absolutely. Nobody ever told Barbara Walters who she could interview. That's a great point. And she interviewed some very controversial people. Um, I have been heated on Carl's show before. uh, I may be wrong, and I may be wrong for saying it. And if I am, Carl can get on to me. I think, although I can't prove it, I think Carl got so mad one night he just closed the stream. But it could have been technical issues. But I think Carl said, "That's it, we're done." It was a heated show. That's been months ago, But I don't even remember what it was about. But it was a full panel, and it got a little sideways. But it was great entertainment, man. I mean, great. I was like, wow, what a zinger. I mean, I was just in the gallery, I don't even think I was commenting much that night. I was like, wow, what? I think I come in late to the party, and they were already kind of fully. It was already started heating up a little bit, and the next thing I know, it was like full on war. They like calling me an old fat baby. Oh my gosh. You're a good sport. You take a lot and just keep on kicking. But you will state your opinion in no uncertain terms. And I like that. I've always said I like somebody that shoots straight with me. I'll make a decision on if I like it or don't like the statement. I don't like the people that dance around an issue. Just tell me how you feel. And I try to do that myself. And I try to do that with grace and whatever. Try not to be a jerk. But if somebody asks me a direct question, I will give them a direct answer. I don't try to dance around that, and then I will listen to their opinion about what I said or how I feel. And I may say something like, you make a great point. I agree with part of what you say, but I would still say I'm against this issue or on this side of this issue. And I think that's healthy. I think it's healthy for all of us to have that. You was on that show. So do you know, was that show just ended? I've always wondered that. I think that's the only time I ever saw that happen. That was an intense show. Intense. I don't even remember what y'all were talking about, but boy, it got hot. Hey, we're guys. We can do that. We can get hot. We can get mad, and we're still friends. It's as Broski would say, it's those emotional people who uh, they can't handle it. They get their feelings hurt, and guys can do that. I mean, we just do it. Back in the day, it wasn't nothing to. When we were growing up, I mean, it was. I got a guy I'm friends with today. There was one summer we had 5 fights. 5 fights that summer. But we're friends to this day. We can do that. You know what? You swinging on me, I'm swinging on you. And Sometimes a word said errantly or under the influence, which that happens too. Um, People get mad and punches get thrown. I mean, that's people today. They can't handle anything. You know, they just can't handle it. Our leaders can't handle it. They whine and cry. And, I mean, and President Trump knows that about how most of them are. So he hurts their little feelings every day, and he doesn't care. He jumps on Schumer with both feet. He knows that guy can't handle it. He cries. He knows that. He knows that liberals cannot handle him being that outspoken person he is that says some really crude stuff sometimes. I'm not saying it's always right. I'm saying he's going to do it whether I like it or not. And his little feelings ain't hurt. He's not built that way. He don't care. And he's the type of guy that would say, I have no power over how you receive what I say. I'm going to say it. You either like it or you don't. I got no problems. He's not analyzing the next day going, I sure hope that they're not really still upset about that. I hope I didn't hurt their feelings. I wouldn't want them to be mad at me. Should I send them the Christmas card this year? That's not going through his mind. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. We were talking about the possibility of another civil war. And it seems like somebody in the show got really upset because someone seemed to initiate the discussion. Can I say it? Let's go. Like, and I remember somebody was like, whoa, whoa, I'm not in this. I'm out. And it kind of, that's where I remember kind of picking it up. And then it just went, ooh. There was some red faces in the room. But that I do remember that now. Thank you for reminding me. It's a great show. I need to go back. Rumble has them all. I need to go back and watch the whole show. I don't remember. I think I got in late, and I don't remember the whole show. I would like to go back and check that out again for what was there. You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way about Carl. Hey, sometimes that's he's the keeper of the power. If he wanted to do that, it's like I'm shutting this down. I'm going to bed. Oh, it's like the guy with the board game. It's his board game. He just flips it up and says the game's over. I'm going to bed. You people go home. That's the way I took it. It's like, it could have just blipped, but I think he just said, this ain't going anywhere good. I'm just going to end it. Oh, that's like if there's been people, they hang up on you on the phone. They hang up, and you call them right back and say, hey, why'd you hang up with me? And they go, I don't know what happened. I think I lost signal. BS. They didn't lose no signal. They was like, dang you. Me and Paul, Biscuit Boy, were talking about this the other day. All you guys, or most of your gals, you're all old enough to remember the old phones. And that was empowering to take a phone and just slam it down with the little bells ring, and bam. Now you can't get the same thing out of it. It's like, go off. There's no. They took the joy away. We need like a button we hit. It should be there should be a disclaimer voice that goes out and says, I'm hanging up on you. You're a jerk. Bam. With that little sound, with the little bells ringing and the slam of the phone down. I love it. But good and well they hang up on you. We've probably done it to them too. It's like, click. Oh, he was in that show, and I do remember that. Anonymous Anthony and Carl were going on it, and I was going in on it too. There was somebody else on the show. Was it T. Skillet, or was it another guy? Seemed like there was another guy. Yeah, we're going at it. I tell you, I'm serious when I say I want to go back and watch that. That's been at least 3 months ago, at least. it maybe 4 months ago. It's been back a little bit. That was right after I first started coming over, and I think I had been on the show already, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was pretty. But I mean, I knew the characters. I knew you. I knew Carl. I knew T. Skillet. I knew. Of course, nobody ever sees him. Anonymous Anthony is by voice, but I'd heard him before, so I knew all those folks. Was what's the guy, the engineer? Was he in there that night? I don't remember if he was in there or not. I can't think of his name. I know it. I can't think of it, but it's hot and heavy. Hey, there's been some podcasts that I've been in. I mean, me and Rob, we disagreed and kind of walked away. We both probably were mad at each other. I'll say probably we were, but and it got over. Still have the one from a mom's house. Yeah, it's heavy. 40 pounds. I think we should have go back and have those phones like that. I think it would be cool. Incorporate the technology. We could still walk around with the headset. Let's have the cord. Just make it Wi-Fi, but be able to go back and hit that and have that sound. It's like, oh yeah, take this, buddy. Bam. Oh, I love it. We I was a teenager. We were, I think, both 16 years old. Let's see. Ooh, might have been a little older than that. Maybe 17. 16, 17 years old. I'm going to say 16. Middle of summer. Okay. And we called in the radio station. I was late. We set up all night that night. I was at my friend's house. He had a phone in his, they redid a room up the very top, usually it's used for storage. He had his bedroom up there, and it was pretty cool. They had it all environmental controls and all that stuff. It was really nice. But we called this radio station. It was late, and we were requested to hear a song. And I think it was "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," Charlie Daniels band, but I can't remember. And the guy said, "Okay, yeah, 15 minutes." So we wait. Well, he doesn't play it. So we call him back. I got busy, man. I'll get that. So this went on for like 2 hours, maybe three. The guy he's never playing the song. So we called him. He wasn't answering the phone. And one time he picked up, he hung up when he heard who it was. So we were mad. This went on like the dude's getting off at like 6 a.m. This was at least 5 o'clock in the morning where we're still calling. So finally he calls and he picks it up. He knows it's us. And he's like, my God, man, will you guys quit calling? We said, we'll quit calling when you fulfill your promise. You said you would play the song and you didn't. He said, all right. The next song will be "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." Will you quit calling me? I said, absolutely. He played the song. We didn't call him back. But he hung up on us. You like the old pay phones? Those were cool too. You could slam that thing down. Sometimes change would jump out of it, right? You always check it to make sure there's no change there. I remember I was just started dating my future wife. We didn't have a phone at home. We were poor. We'd had a tough time. Mom and dad divorced. I was working. We just didn't have a phone. This expense we couldn't afford. So to call, this is before cell phones for us anyway. So, but I would go down to a payphone. I'm not one that really likes to talk on the phone a long time, but you're in love or something. And I would go down to this payphone and call her from the payphone. And let me tell you, it's people today don't know what that feels like to talk on a payphone for an hour or two, especially if it's cold weather or raining or whatever, and you're in this little box and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I want to use the phone." You're like, "Yeah, get out of here, man." Talking to my girl. Or finally you're like, there's a couple people wanting to use the phone, I'll call you back. So you step out, they make a phone call, and then two, and then you go back in and you call them back. Another dime or a quarter. I guess there's still some of those out there, but dang if I ever see them anymore. I think maybe airports still have them. I think, but you don't see them much anywhere. I haven't seen one in a long time that I can remember. Maybe I'm not looking, but I have not seen one of those in a long, long time. But I spent a lot of time in them, though. A lot of time. What memories, man. That's what's fun about getting older. You got all these fun memories. And people today, little young kids, are like, you did what? I mean, today they don't get it, man. They are so connected to the world. They have all these kids have their cell phone. This is what kills me. They have their cell phones. I take several kids to school, all different ages, all the way from, oh my goodness, from the age of almost 10 or is 10 now up to almost 15. So it's in that range. Well, actually, one's younger than that. So we'll say 8 or 9 all the way up to 14. I take these kids to school. Most of them have cell phones. Sometimes they have to leave it with their mom or something, but one's broke and oh, you got to leave me your phone, whatever. Here they got this technology at their fingertips of the cell phone. Mine's an iPhone. This right here has so much energy and power and ability to do. It has on the front, it has the time listed. And these kids will go down the road, and I'll hear this all the time. They'll say, "What time is it?" What? And even other kids will go, "You got a phone. Just look at the phone." It just blows my mind how. Why would you do that? It's like I don't even need to ask nobody. I got my own time. I can set a timer. I can do whatever I want. I can look at the time in China with this thing. I don't. Why do I got to ask that question? Cracks me up. Yeah, they can't tell time on a clock. That's true. That's like you can change this to the old style, and they don't know what time it is. I've done that before on some phones. Put up the old style, and they're like, I'll say, "Well, you got a clock right in front of you," and they'll go, "I can't see that. I can't tell what that is." I knew we were in trouble when I was 15 years old, and I worked at the local grocery store. And one day the power went out. The power went out in the store. Bad storm knocked the power out. Well, I'm gonna tell you nowadays they just kind of stopped. Back then we kept the business going. It slowed down, but all those people would just add it up, pencil and paper. Let's go, baby. You know, younger the younger ones, the teenagers that were working, they didn't know how to do that. Those old style cashiers, they knew how to figure the tax. They knew how to figure it all. They didn't need that. They didn't even care for the computer part. But the younger people are like, I don't know what to do. Add it. What do you mean add it? I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I thought we're in trouble. We grew up without cell phones and helmets. Dang right. I like those. Sometimes I'll see those pictures on socials, and it shows some kid jumping a ramp they have set up, and he's flying through the air, no helmet, shorts, no shoes. He got kids laying on the ground. He's jumping over them, and they said we survived or something like that, and we didn't have helmets or none of that stuff. And they try to put everybody in a bubble, dude. We had mini bikes, go karts, name it. We weren't content with just running around on the normal ground. There was a place for that, but we were all about going extreme sports, ramps and stuff, jumping stuff, running into each other. I mean, that was after you got bored with the other stuff, you invented new games. You got a little more Mad Max. If you were climbing trees, there's always that one that would say, I'll go higher than anybody else. They're up there hanging on to some little bitty limb going, yeah, I win. Today, parents be going, he's going to die. I can't believe you let Johnny climb to the top of the tree. I had a friend. I'm not saying it was smart, but I had a friend. He climbed up in a tree. Call it what you want. He took a pocket knife and he cut into a power line. And this was his. I told him not to do it even. And he about fell out of the tree when it zapped him. And I asked him, I said, why did you do that? He said, I wanted to experience what it felt like. That's why crazy, whatever you want to call it, we were tougher. I just wanted to experience what it was like. Now I know. Kids today get sniffles and they can't function. Not all of them, but there are some. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. You know what? I never came home telling my parents about a bully. I took care of it. There were things that happened at school my parents didn't even know about. Where I got in trouble, for sure. I'm not telling them. I'll handle that. It's my business. It's the way I looked at it. But I took care of it. I didn't come home whining. I didn't come home and tell my dad and mom, I don't know what to do. This guy's picking on me. No, I handled it and everything that goes with that. I try to get along with everybody, but sometimes there's always going to be that jerk. We had a punk kid out of California. Seriously, he transferred to Georgia from California, and he thought he was about the size of a switchblade. He wasn't that big, and he was just torturing kids on the bus. And he comes up to me one day and he says, "Cordell, get out of that seat. It's mine." Because he got on late and there was no seats left, and he wanted somebody to get up because there's always kids that's got to stand. He go, he's too cool to stand, so he was going to pick on me. I said, "I'm not moving." He said, when he had two or three other guys with him, he said, "We'll bust you up." I said, "Then you better start." He said, "Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why don't you just move?" I said, "Well, I'll tell you exactly why I do that. Because my daddy said there would be a jerk like you coming along one day. And he always said to walk away from a fight if possible. But if not, give them everything you got and then some." So that's exactly what's going to happen here. Because he said, "I'll beat you down." I said, "You might. You may very well do it. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to know you've been in a fight because I'm going to give you everything I've got. Nothing's out of bounds. I'm going to fight to win." And I saw the look in his face, and he was hesitant. And these guys are going, hit him, he's a jerk, get him, let's get him." And the guy said, and he looked to his right, and there was this kid over there shaking. The whole, just watching this thing made this other kid shake. And he turns on him, he starts cussing this kid out. And the guys look like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was the first kid that really ever stood up to that guy. It was forced upon me. You do what you got to do. I never had trouble with that guy again, ever. I was willing to do what I said. It wasn't a bluff. My daddy said, "This is the day. You're the guy. I'm not giving it up." I said, "You'll have to kill me. Seriously, you'll have to kill me for the seat." He goes, "It's just a seat. Why would you do that?" I said, "It's more than a seat, man." I said, "I'm not gonna have a punk like you running my life. I'm not bothered you. I've not messed with you. And I don't want you messing with me. And I'm here today. This is the moment. This is the one my daddy said wait for. And I'm fixing to light into you, man. You can walk off or it's on." So dang right. They say the kids of the '70s, the last generation that can do uh, critical thinking. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I deal with a lot of people that, yeah, it is the principle of the thing. Dang right. That's right. Some things, some hills are worth dying on, as the saying goes. Meaning, there are some things I may not like it, but it's not worth my time or me getting too involved with it. But some things will always be, it'll always be the thing. And no matter how old I get, I will never change on that. My country is one of those. I'll stand up for the country. Dang right. I'm going to stand up for my family. I'll stand up for my wife and kids and grandkids, myself. Uh, you know, absolutely. I'll stand up for the spiritual values I have. Yeah, if you do nothing, you're guaranteed. So always fight back. Yeah, and once they got you, they got you. I talked to a guy years later. We're best friends. Sometimes he stops in. Uh, he told me we knew each other. We weren't friends in school. It was after school we became friends. Off of, believe it or not, a fight at a friend of mine's house. My friend and him had some disagreement. My friend wouldn't go out. This guy was big, big. It's like David and Goliath. And we're like, he's calling him out. Come on out. Standing on the road. He never crossed in the yard. I thought, that's that guy from school. He's a giant. He's like 6'4", 300, but a fit 300. Like, come on out. Let's go. You run your mouth. Let's go. Dude wouldn't go out. He's like, I'll call the law. He wouldn't go out. Well, I thought, how dare that guy? Then I found out later my buddy had been running his mouth, and he come there and called him on it. Like, let's go. You've been running that mouth. Let's go. And they became friends later. It was the funniest thing. I'll never forget that. But that guy, that big guy, he told me, he said, yeah, word got around about you. He said, you were quiet. And he said, people said, that's the guy you better not mess with. That's the guy that'll go postal on you or something. I kept my conversations very close to the vest. And I used my wits, and I had a lot of friends. I wasn't very vocal or anything like that, but I knew how to handle myself. My dad taught me stuff. God give me the rest. Yeah, there's a time. There is a time. But I'll just never forget that guy. He's like, call him out. He's like, we were like, hey, man, there's like this big dude out in the street calling, like he's hollering for your name or something, waving. he goes, he's got the phone in his hand. Like, he goes to the window, and he's like, you could almost see the my God moment. Like, my God, I've ran my mouth. Now he's here. What do I do? I'll call the law. He said, call the law. I don't care. I'm still going to beat you down. Let's go. Oh, man. It was crazy. That's the way we rolled back in the 70s. I hear you, James. This guy that he was less than 6 foot tall. I would say around 5'9", maybe. He was kind of chunky. This guy could sit on him and squeeze the life out of him. We told him, like, dude, just don't go out. It's probably not a good deal. It's just funny that we all became friends. We played sports together. We're friends still to this day. But he was from the other street. You know how it is. The people on your street, y'all kind of hang together. You get them people from the other street, that's the guys you play sports against or you fight every day. We had people on another street, they were in and out of jail. Their parents were, and they ran out of juvie all the time. Bad kids. He wasn't one of them, but he was on that same street. It's like, hey, man, that's the next street, dude. Like, I ride the bus with him, dude. That's that guy. I had no wits, so fights were always guaranteed. Like, another day, another fight. Let's roll. But man, you got some big fists, man, arms. I imagine you throwed a pretty good punch. Oh man, we look back, and at the time you're thinking, my gosh, man. You look back now, it's so funny. It's absolutely hilarious to think back to some of those things, And then you look at, I do some security at a box store, and are some guys that come in and they look like men. They're alpha. They don't take no crap. They're nice guys. They don't take no crap. And then you got some coming in, you're like, what's going on? It's like in Stripes, the new military, the new army. It's like, if we go to war, we're in trouble. This guy, he's not built for that. What's going on? I'll give you an example. I had a couple came out they had bought a lot of groceries. Yeah, I just seen it. I didn't pay no attention. They're going, it's late, right before closing. Well, by the time they get stuff loaded up, and ladies, don't get mad at me if you're any of you listening still, but usually, traditionally, guys will drive around, and I noticed they pulled back up. She was in the driver's seat, and she was dispatching him to go back in. And as she said it, he forgot the potatoes. We're already closed. We just got the door up to get people out, not go in. And the lady says, and he forgot the potatoes. I'm sending him back in to get them. I got to have this meal. And I said, we're closed. And she's like going off. And the guy's just sitting there like he's trying to get out of the line of fire. He's just almost kind of like shaky. And she's cussing like, I just spent so many hundreds of blanking dollars in there. You telling me, how am I going to have my dinner? I said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, don't have potatoes. You're not getting them here. You can't come in. She goes, you can let them. I said, no, it's the rules. That's rules. That's life. The guy never said nothing. He was just sitting there. He didn't take control of it. It escalated. She drove off, about hit 2 cars. I mean, it's like he's scared to death of her. You can tell. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, and she's, just let me have it like I care. I don't care. How do you expect me to have a dinner with no potatoes? I kind of like dinner sometimes without potatoes. It's okay. They're nice. I like them. She said, you could go in and buy them for me. And I said, no, I can't. I got to guard the door. I'm not going to do it. We had a neighborhood. If you walk through our neighborhood, be lucky if you didn't get shot. Oh yeah, I've seen those type of neighborhoods. Oh my goodness, I hadn't done a stream this long in a while. I've had fun. Y'all are great. I'm gonna get off here in a few minutes. I need to go up and help my wife. I'm sure she's probably gonna say, "What are you doing out there?" Kind of combined. I just kept the one show going. I don't know how much news I covered, but I've had a heck of a good time. We did cover a little bit, but yeah, you get jumped. We didn't have the whole color thing going on like these gangs, but everybody recognized what street you were from. My street's called McAfee, so I was part of the McAfee crew. That's a McAfee boy. Every street thought they had the toughest guys, the best looking girls, the best sports players, all that. And we would play street to street. They would come over and challenge us, neighborhoods, they'd say, we hear you're good at this. Well, we want to challenge you to a game. And it was always the dudes from their street against the dudes from our street. It was always that way. we never integrated that way. And I'm not talking about race. I'm just saying it was street to street. You didn't have no friends on the other street. They were always, I don't want to say enemy, but there was those other guys. You didn't join them. That would be treason. You stayed with your street. And when I grew up, there was a lot of guys on my street. A lot of guys. I mean, every home had kids. I mean, there was a lot of kids. And every street was like that. So you didn't want to go alone into another street late at night for sure. And I don't mean it. Did I ever walk down another street? Yeah, but just walking through, probably not like that. But you might hear some cat calls like, "Hey, what are you doing on our street?" I remember some people moved in across the street from me one time, and a guy that this guy I was talking about that didn't go out. The big guy was out there. It was the other guy, and he was driving his little Mustang down the road. He's giving it a little bit. He wasn't flying, but he was moving a little bit. And then the guy, first day, they just moved in. They're still unloading the truck. They're the boxes, the refrigerator. And the guy goes, "Hey, slow down." And, yeah, but I'm one of the idiots. So anyway, he just slams on the brakes. You'll like this, Jane. Throws it in reverse, squeal, smoke coming off the tires, backs up. He goes, "Excuse me, did you say something?" The guy goes, "Yeah." You're flying. You're going too fast. You got to slow down. There's kids around. He said, there ain't no kids around. He goes, let me ask you a question. He goes, how long have you lived on the street? And the guy said, well, I just moved in. He goes, exactly. I've lived here for 30 years. Shut the blank up until asked to speak. And drove off. The guy's just sitting there like, no, they didn't stay there too long. Got on the bad side of people already. Our neighborhood was called the Snyder Terrace, and we were called Terrace. That's cool. I never got a cool name like that. The Terrace Rats. Oh, I'm sure we had some names. We were McAfee, stuff, and they would give us like, McAfee boys, bunch of losers. You McAfee boys cheat. We got to watch you. You cheat when you play games. I want to tell you, usually when we got together, like especially football games, they would always end up at least one fight because it would get ugly. It really did. Whole neighborhood of single mothers with unruly children. Wow. Oh, you got to fight for your right, man. I got a knock on my door one day. It was a Saturday. I was I don't I think I might have even been married by now. I still played a lot of sports. Guy comes up, a guy played. We were kind of like if we were playing 2-on-2 or something. He was the guy that we always played together. He comes banging on my door, and there's a couple other guys with him. They said, "Hurry up! You got to get to the court." And the court was across the creek. It was a dirt court. We didn't have no asphalt or car. Poor people, but we had a nice place to play. It was packed down. It was really nice, level. And if you went too far, you got in the woods and the trees and the creek. You don't want to fall in the creek. But anyway, he said, "There's a guy down there. He's the biggest guy I've ever seen. Bigger than the guy that I told you about. Taller. And he's just him and another guy. They come down there and they're pushing us around, and they, we thought we was just shooting around having fun. They're getting serious about it, and they challenged us. And I said, well, one of the guys is not here. They said, go get him, because they said, well, because he usually guards the big guys. I was the tallest guy for our group, and I was only 6'1.5". So this guy was every bit of 6'10", every bit, big dude. So that's why they come and got me. Like, we can't beat this guy. He's too big. So I get up there and I'm like, oh, great. I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But we beat him. I made that guy so mad. He was really good at blocking shots. Being tall like that, it kind of comes natural. And I made him miss so bad. I didn't care for the team, but one of my guys that I made my game after growing up was Kevin McHale, the Boston Celtics. That guy could get anybody off the ground. Anybody. He'd have them all messed up on their timing, and that's what I did to him. Oh, he got so mad. We played a game of 21. We beat him. And, oh, he was ticked. But they said, we've been challenged. That's what would happen in the neighborhood. We've been challenged. You got to come now. And if you didn't come, then you were called out like, oh, yeah, they were scared. So my wife was like, do you got to go now? I mean, like, I think she was fixing breakfast or something. I'm like, oh, yeah, challenge is out. The crew expects it. I got to go stand up for the street. My wife is like, what is all this? She was a little bit not liking, a little bit jealous, because we were newly married. And, and my mom was still living, and we took care of her. And my mom said, oh, he's done that for years. You just have to get over it. He's going to go every time. And I did for years. But I'll just never forget. We've been challenged. That's like all I had to hear. I'm like, who challenged us? Some guy from the next street. It was a different street this time. I'm like, oh, well, let's go. Have basketball will travel. Oh, man. Great memories, man. I've enjoyed talking to y'all tonight. Y'all are a lot of fun. James, you're a blessing. I told you that the other night. You're a blessing. You make me laugh. I hope you had I know you had a good show tonight. Thanks for coming over. I hope that raid helped. And Matter of fact, I need to find somebody to raid. I don't know who's on, but I'll find somebody and go give a raid. But you got a show tomorrow, my man. You got movie night on. Not, is Monday night's movie night for you? I saw that last night. Tony was doing the Saw 10 or something like that. I went in and talked for a little bit, and then he was setting up the movie. So I got to see who's on tonight and see who I might like. I don't. A lot of them I don't know. Uh, I don't think he's live. Though he's already off. So I was going to do the Celtic Blacksmith. There I am. I'm live. It's got me listed number one there. Probably because I've been on here running my mouth too much. Let's see. There's some funny looking shows on here, I want to tell you. Da, 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 da. Let's see here. Christmas Chaos. Sounds interesting. Ba-bum. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, tell me, know, James, if you do a movie night. I've got it too. I've got an interview tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. For those that don't know, that might not have been here, um, interview with Mary Fagan Keene about the murder of this precious little girl, and it's going to be a barn burner. I'm telling you, I cannot wait for that interview. And we're also going to go and challenged by the. We're going to go to a bookstore tomorrow and do a live. That's the plan. That is the plan. There's some of these things I wonder, should I even do that one? Let's do this one. It's live and it's about the Bondi Beach shooting, and I know not who these people are. And I always like to. Well, they got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I don't even know what's going on here. They're showing the federal deficit. I know that. Look at that clock go. That money go. I think they're on a commercial or something. So we'll try to raid them. So share. We'll get it. Hey, y'all have a great night. If you don't want to go to the raid, that's fine. Yep, the Monday movie. What's the movie, man? What is the movie? I'm curious. Curiosity has got me tonight, and just wondering. I think this will work in this one. I don't know if it will or not. If it don't, you're just going to see an address to it. But I'm good on my raids anyway, so I'm curious of what you've got for that, my friend. It may not work when there's not a pop out, and I don't think it's going to. So yeah, I didn't do the pop out stream, so we're not going to raid. It's okay, but we're going to say good night. And if you pop that movie in, I want to know what movie you're doing, and then I got to say goodbye. Parting is such sweet sorrow, but we must do what we have to do. All you Rumble fans, you Rumble folks are awesome. For the other ones that's coming in from other streams, there's a few of you. Get you a Rumble app. You can keep your other one, but get you a Rumble app. You need one. It's good for you. You definitely need that. And you won't be upset that you did it. I promise you. You'll be like, oh, especially when those other ones start shutting down the channels that you like to watch, or you yourself, your channel. So, so yeah. All right. I don't see the movie popping up. James may be, he may be busy. But anyway, y'all give James a follow. And Angry Conservative 1981 and all these other great content creators. They're awesome. No, not sure yet. Okay. It's a mystery movie. Monday mystery. It'll be something cool. James always has good stuff. So let me throw up a good song here. How big a boy are you? That sounds like something I need to play. Oh, boot kicker. We'll play the boot kicker. I like that. We'll see y'all in the morning, bright and early. Merry Christmas. We're getting closer. I got a lot of shopping to do tomorrow and Tuesday. Get finished up and got the stuff to do tomorrow. and we're gonna rock it. And y'all have a blessed night. Take care, and I wish nothing but happiness and peace and health and all that good stuff for you in your life. And if you have a prayer request, send it in. We'll be honored to pray for you. Let's think about those who have lost loved ones around the holiday season. It's very tough, anytime, but especially holidays. And for those, this is the first holiday since the death of their loved one. It's extremely hard. Let's pray for our veterans, pray for our nation. And if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ today, He's just a prayer away. And you can know for a surety where you're going when you pass from this life to the next. He paid the penalty. It was our debt, and we couldn't pay it, and He did. And once for, you don't have to do it again. It's all done. He's not on the cross today. But I'm glad I'm born again Christian, and I'm not perfect, far from it, but I do love the Lord. And that's not to put down anybody's belief system, but we want to give you the truth. And Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. There is life after this life, and be ready for it. We just never know, right? Every day is a gift. It appeared for a little while, and then it fadeth, away like a vapor. And our lives are so fast. Or we watch our kids grow up, and our grandkids are growing up. And for some of us, it'd be great grandkids, and that'll happen for me in the next 4 or 5 years, I'm sure. And life just flies by. Grab hold of it, but know where you're going. Take care, and God bless. We'll see you next time.